visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves. See how you'd like to live your life. See yourself living it that way. Take that picture and describe it. Write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. Start to read it and read it and read it and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers all down through history have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. A lot of people will laugh at this and say, that doesn't make any sense. Now, it may be fantasy at first. It might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it.
So our thoughts control our actions?
Our thoughts control our feelings.
Okay.
Our feelings control our actions.
When you see things get bad and they say it must be God's will, that's an expression of ignorance. God's will is always for expansion and fuller expression. Greater ways, greater things. That is God's will for you, for me, for everyone else. Never for hard times. Abundance is our birthright. We've been conned, folks.
Start working for yourself. Sky's the limit.
What is the one thing that people who made $1 million that they did that I guarantee you are not doing? It is called work. They worked 12 to 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week on making money. They had an obsession with making money. That's all they thought about. They had singular focus. They had singleness of purpose. And I guarantee you don't do that because you want to live a balanced life. Well, I'm sorry, but people who succeed in life don't live a balanced life. It is a fantasy. It is a myth. If you say, I want to live a balanced life and make millions, welcome to Fantasy Island.
Is there any better feeling than being locked in?
No.
Like when you are locked in and you are, you're taking and you're in a rhythm and you every day you're knocking it down, you never miss a step. Like you go to bed feeling great, you wake up feeling inspired, you go in the gym with energy, right? Like that's the best way to live it.
But I promise you though, you have so much potential. If you literally just took it and put it in one place, you could literally change your life.
Truly believe that if you put your 100% effort into something, then you can't lose. God knows if you deserve the results, and if you truly try, you truly commit yourself 100% to something, I don't see how you can fail it. But I don't think you can. That I completely refuse. You can't fail at it.
You said you were going to do it this year, but you didn't. So what's going to be different about this year? What kind of person are you going to actually become in order to achieve what the you want to achieve?
It is easier to make money than ever before. You can make more money faster today than ever before in history. Why aren't more people making money? Wealthy people show initiative. Broke people don't.
The faster you are, the more money you will make. Your bank account is actually a reflection of how fast you move. I was sitting with one of my mentors, Bill Perkins. I asked him, Bill, you're worth a lot of money. You've made hundreds of millions of dollars. Why do you think you've been so successful? And he kind of looked at me and he thought for a second and he said, I move really fast. By the time somebody else has thought about an idea, taken it to investment committee, I've already started, made 3 mistakes and found a better way.
Now y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't have any.
A broke person thinks that there's a limit to opportunity and a limit to the amount of money out there, that there's a finite resource of money. They think, I just don't have opportunities. I've missed the opportunities. There's this limiting belief around money that poor or broke people have. Rich people, on the other hand, understand this, that money is a renewable resource, which means if they lose all their money today, it's no problem. They can create more. Do you understand this? Do you think that you can create as much money as you want? You don't, do you?
Working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
when you really want something, just in my life experience and seeing other people, seeing myself, seeing other people that like made stuff happen, it's like, man, when you really want something, you're gonna find a way, ultimately.
Every single day is about winning that battle against yourself.
And it might not be today or next year or 5 years or 10 years, but this thing takes priority and precedent over all other things.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better.
When you realize you have to make this shit work or you're falling on your face, it's a different kind of grind, a different kind of mentality, a different kind of person, a different side of you that you've never seen before that comes out when you go all in.
Everybody has the desire to do something, but they don't have they don't know how to really complete the process of dedicating themselves and having the discipline to do it.
This shit is worth more money than anything ever because you can make so much money off of this, bro. Look at me crazy, call me crazy in the beginning, but once I'm making millions of dollars, playing video games, having fun.
We are creative beings, and we can create money. Not that we can, we actually do. That's how money manifests in people's life. They create it. And when you have this mindset, the universe will then present to you and have bubble up ideas about how to make money.
Let's consider money butterflies. So let's say you want to catch butterflies. Butterflies equate to dollars. There's two ways that you can gather butterflies. The first way is build a net, right? Build a massive net. It doesn't matter how optimized the net is. It doesn't matter how sophisticated it is. You always have to swing in order to catch butterflies. That's most people hustling. That's where most people start. But you need to develop a second skill set, which is how to attract butterflies. How do you attract butterflies? By building a garden.
Changing your psychology around money changes absolutely everything.
Do you want to become a billionaire? Then you have to think like a billionaire.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them.
The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank.
You have to change the way you think.
The number one thing that's keeping you poor is your mouth, what you say. You see, what you say is what you get. Your tongue is a creative force. Words have power, more power than you could ever imagine. Every word that comes out of your mouth has 100 to 1,000 times more power than a thought. If you believe that what you say will happen, you will get whatever you say.
Listen to me. Rich people think differently. So what I'm gonna put in your head today is a rich people concept so you can get to understand it. The only difference between successful people and not is just how they think. Rich people think different. Quit letting people tell you you gotta get qualified in another program. You don't need another program to be successful. You need to change the way you think.
How would an abundant person think? Write it down, dude, and fire and wire those thoughts in your brain and install the hardware. Keep doing it with attention and intention. It becomes the new voice in your head. It becomes a software program. Then say, okay, how am I going to be in my life today? What would an abundant person, how would they behave? And before you reach for your cell phone and start scrolling through your social media, close your eyes and rehearse in your mind how that person would walk, how they would breathe, how they would smile, how they would greet people, how they would be on Zoom calls, how would they be in traffic, how would they be at dinner. And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing the act, if you're truly present, the brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining.
Say no to the paycheck. Paycheck make you poor because they make a slave mindset, not a master mindset.
Make up your mind. That's this idea of you got to be realistic, that you got to be logical is a bunch of nonsense. You don't have to be logical at all. I've been totally illogical many times, and it's helped me earn a lot of money.
When you speak of your poverty and lack of education, you are simply directing your mind power to attract these undesirable circumstances. Because it is true that whatever your mind feeds upon, your mind attracts to you. Now you see why it is important that you recognize that all success begins with definiteness of purpose, with a clear picture in your mind of precisely what you want from life.
You are on your way to making your fortune. You can do it. You have greatness within you. Remember, you were born to win. You were engineered for success. You were designed for accomplishment, and you were endowed with the seeds of greatness.
do you want to become a billionaire, then you have to think like a billionaire. Billionaires do not think about pennies and cents and dollars. They think big, and they think of ways of getting there, not of ways of not getting there.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them. And there's only one reason it's not in their lives, and that's because they're stopping it from coming into their lives.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How are we stopping it?
By thinking we don't have enough, by thinking we don't deserve it, by maybe being programmed the way you were, that my family didn't have very much, you know, I'm destined to not have very much, kind of born on the wrong side of the tracks kind of thing, or all of those thoughts, to believe that we only get money through our job. If you believe that that's the only way you're going to get money, that's the only way that you're going to get money. But you can get money from unbelievable, unlimited different ways.
If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start. Why not? Who gonna stop you? Unless you tell it to the wrong person. Mama, listen to me. I'm going to be rich. Anybody rich in this family? Go in there and sit down somewhere. Get yourself a good job. Oh, mama, you must be right. No, mama could be wrong. Because what you have in your imagination, God didn't show it to your mama. I'm sorry. He showed it to you.
Know what you want and believe that you can and will get it. Give expressions of gratitude many times daily for having received that which you want, even before you actually get physical possession of it. Possession starts first in the mind. But please remember this. Remember, there can be no application of applied faith without action. When overtaken by defeat, as you may be many times, remember that man's faith is tested many times before he is crowned with final victory. And accept your defeat as nothing more than a challenge to keep on trying.
But I'm starting to realize, bro, when you dance to your own rhythm, when you play by your own rules, and you living through your vision, that's a perfect indication you're doing it correctly. Because they literally don't see what you see. They don't see it. They don't see what you see. They don't see as far as you see. And they don't understand why you see what you see. They don't even understand where it's coming from internally. They don't. I didn't get that back then. I just knew I had the desire for more. I knew I had a vision that I couldn't ignore.
There is no end to what you're capable of doing. Once you get into this vibration, you'll start attracting things. Opportunities are just going to pop up everywhere you go.
Delayed gratification, which means putting off enjoying the fruits of your labor for a period of time. It's temporary so that you're focused in on what you're doing. This is the one thing that people always did that people that are not successful don't do. They're obsessed with making money. They're obsessed with their mission, their purpose, their idea, their project, and it's all they do. It's all they think about. They eat, drink, and sleep this obsession. They work on it, but it's not work to them. They absolutely love the journey because they understand the journey is actually the reward.
What would be the outcome? The experiment of being abundant would be that you would have to feel that feeling. It's so good at doing it with your eyes closed. You got to do it with your eyes open. Now, why? Because if you're feeling the feelings of your emotions, of your future, you're no longer looking for them.
You can do whatever you make up your mind to do. Believe, and you shall receive. Will you please remember that your life is exactly what you make it by your own mental attitude.
Listen to this. You do not have to be the smartest cat in town to earn a lot of money. As a matter of fact, you can be pretty dumb and earn a lot of money. I was pretty dumb and I was earning a lot of money. So when people tell me you got to be smart to earn a lot of money, I know that's not true because I knew I wasn't very smart and I was earning a lot of money.
If you complain about money, if you judge people who have it, if you rush when you're in lack, if you cheat when you don't have what you need, an abundant person doesn't do that. You got to look at that and say, I got to break these habits. Yes. Oh my God, if I truly want to be abundant, I can't act this way. Now here's the big one. If I truly want to be a new personality that's in a new personal reality, I can't take lack with me. I can't take unworthiness. I can't take the story that goes along with it with my parents or my grandparents or my ex or whatever. That story has to end.
When people look at the money that they're making and then the amount of effort that it takes them to make that money, they're like, you know what, at least I worked hard for my money. Bro, money gets printed out of thin air. You need to figure out how to make as much of it for the least amount of effort as possible. Why? Because there's dudes out there that are printing it. I don't think you understand. They're literally printing it. Printing it, and you're out here working for it, slaving away. So you need to ask yourself, how can I get as much money as possible for the least amount of effort? So you need to start a business. You need to be able to understand how to arbitrage. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to market. These basic skills, because the assumption that you're going to find security in a job is a fallacy. They can fire you for any of a million reasons tomorrow. Your skills are what's going to determine if you stay afloat or not, if you have the ability to make money. The job doesn't count. The idea of having a side hustle that you're not actually fully invested doesn't count. You need to be focused on making money. Money is the name of the game. You have to take care of it.
A lot of you niggas gonna spend your whole life waiting on a handout, waiting on somebody to come and put you on, waiting for some money to fall in your lap, waiting for somebody to come and save you. No, ain't nobody coming to save you, bro. Once you understand you're gonna have to do this shit on your own, you're gonna have to have your own motion, you're gonna have to have your own grind, you move different, you talk different, you apply pressure to shit different. It's different when you know nobody's coming.
No more around. You want your life to be better? I can't help you. Lee can't help you. Joe Rogan can't help you. Ari can't help you. Only you can help you. Grab your balls, get a notebook, and write down what the you're gonna do this year. And this is it. You're not gonna have these problems. The drugs, cigarettes, it all starts today, all right? No more excuses. This is the year of the soldier. We're getting back what belongs to us, and that's it.
You chase something that you believe you deserve until you get it. And it doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter how many times you've been fired. It doesn't matter how many people don't believe in you. You just go until you get it. That's the point. Are you tired yet? But some of you need to get tired. You need to be tired of what's going on in your life. Get tired of your habits. Get tired of your results. Get tired of the actions that you're putting in every day. You gotta change, man, or nothing changes.
In Africa, you know from your early age that you're not counting on nobody. You're not expecting anything from anybody. It's all on you. And as long as you get that, the rest of your life get better.
Here's something a guy said recently. This dude said, there's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
Nobody's going to believe in you until you've already done it. Nobody's going to come and celebrate with you until you've already done it. The work is going to come before the belief, which means you're going to have to work for a long time by yourself with no applause, with no awards, with nobody telling you good job. And then once you start to build something and people start to see the momentum and they start to see the result and you start doing some things, then you're going to get a little belief.
Unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not.
You had nobody anyway, mother. So see how I'm talking myself right now? That's me. That shit fires me the f*** up. That shit makes me nuts. You had nobody anyway, mother. Look around you. There was no team. It was you.
What's your most brutal life lesson?
Nobody's coming to save you. It's also the best one. The best day of your life is when you realize nobody's coming to save you. And when you can realize that, and you can kind of cynically smile because you know you want the ball in your court, then you're well on your way to being successful. When you take full responsibility of everything, good or bad, even if you don't do the actual task, if you take responsibility fully, you're free.
There's a tremendous amount of liberation that comes when you accept the fact that you're always going to need to give yourself a push.
The first two words of getting out of poverty are my fault. And the thing is it doesn't actually matter if it is your fault, but it is your problem. You have to solve it because no one else will. That allows you to actually do something about it.
Until you win, effort always goes unnoticed. Get used to it. No one roots for you until everyone roots for you. That's just how it works. You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like. Everything worth doing is hard. And the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
At some point, everything's going to go south on you. Everything's going to go south, and you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that, or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin. You do the math. You solve one problem, then you solve the next one.
The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you.
There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. You gotta do your best work when you're the least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta second the up and do it. Stay hard.
I just don't see the point.
This idea you have that there's a way to be safe, it's childish and cowardly. It stops you from experiencing anything, including anything good.
Once you've already won, people are like, he's amazing, he's so good. But like, that's the time when you need it the least. You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just you.
The difference between should and must is reasons. Reasons come first, answers come second. If you got strong enough reasons, if you got a big enough why, you can figure out how to do anything.
Why the don't you want to be in better shape? Why don't you want to be more successful? Maybe you can't find your why because you're lazy. Maybe you can't find your why because you have zero in ambition. Regardless, you need to go out here and find it.
If the why is powerful, the how is easy. But if the why isn't strong, if your goals aren't powerful, if the vision isn't clear, the old prophet said, without a vision we die, without a vision we perish, without a dream we're nothing.
What's the chance of you making $1 million this year? Give me numbers. And everyone's like 0%, 0%, 0%. 1%, there's always 1%. It's like 5, and that's like the most it'll get to. And I said, okay, I'm gonna give you the most extreme example, but I just wanna see what happens, okay? What's the percentage chance of you making $1 million this year, legally, and if you don't, everyone that you love dies? And everyone's like 100%, 100%, 1,000%. I said, what changed? The goal didn't change, the time frame didn't change, why you're doing it changed. Would you wake up in the morning if everyone that you love's life depended on it and be like, yeah, well, maybe I should scroll on TikTok for a little while? No, you'd be like, I'm going to take action immediately. And so it doesn't need to be like a fear of losing everybody, but what's really behind that is like, why?
So you never wanted a regular type life, right? Is that barbecues and ball games? Yeah.
If you want to feel like your life has meaning, if you want to go to bed and sleep with a clear conscience, if you want to wake up in the morning looking forward to the day, purpose is a more meaningful, more reliable category than happess.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful.
In order to be successful, you need to have a powerful why. Why do you want to be successful? Why do you want to achieve great things? Why are you doing the shit that you're doing on a daily basis? Why? I ask people this on a daily basis and everybody gives me these generic answers. Because I want to help people. Because I want to give back. Because I want to live a happier life. Why? What's the why here? Why do you want to do these things? Why do you want to feel this way? Why do you want to help people? Why do you want to give back? What's the reason? If you don't have a powerful reason, you're never going to reach your goals because you don't have something that's pulling you towards them. You don't have something that's going to wake you up before your alarm goes off. That why is everything. My why is very simple. I want to be remembered forever and I want to inspire one person a day because I know what it's like to struggle with the drugs and the alcohol and feeling like you're alone in life, having nobody to help you. What's your why?
You know, when you're built different than everybody else and you have this desire for more and this desire for achievement and this desire to win, everybody else looks at you like you're, and they'll tell you that too. You know, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you just relax? Why can't you just do this? Because I'm just not built that way, man.
How do I manage all this misery and suffering and futility? It's like, well, I need to figure out what I would have to do in order to make that clearly worthwhile. And so then you have your goal, and then you think, well, I need to move towards that incrementally because I'm kind of useless and can only do so much and maybe not even that. But all I have to do is be a little bit better than my miserable self yesterday. And that'll propel you forward very rapidly.
If you don't have a strong enough why, if you don't know your compelling future, if you're not ready to climb through every brick wall, then go upstream and find that desire. Find it so when you're facing, oh my God, the money didn't come through, the bank fell through, the bank called their loan, or whatever you go through in different markets. You're just thinking, I just want to make more money to get the Ferrari. You have a reason for that Ferrari. You have a reason for your success. You have a reason for your future. That's when you say, oh, this failed. Let's try again. That didn't work. Let's try again. And how many times do you have to try again? Who knows? Could be 100, right? It's the people who give up on the 60th one and don't realize that your 61st time of getting past that failure was your next level. Well, the purpose is you. We forget that. Every day I wake up and I don't want to do some shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be today? Do you want to feel like do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? The main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself.
What's your rabbit? So what you focused on each day? What you running after? What you chasing after? You may not apprehend it, but what gets you out of bed without an alarm clock? What gets you going when you don't feel like it? What makes you go get it when everybody say you can't?
If you don't know where you want to go or who you want to be, you eventually just float around and you eventually crash.
Most people walk around with no goals, no ambition. They don't know where they're going. It's like a ship with no destination. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. Once you know where you want to go, then you direct your time, your energy, and your attention to the execution and the achievement of that goal. It's all about intention. But most people walk around in life thinking that life is just a big fat lottery. And it's just not that case. Those that live by the lottery of life most likely end up losing.
Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
The first question people go to is how? And that's the wrong question. How is absolutely the wrong question to start with, because if you've never done it before, what that produces is uncertainty. If you have uncertainty, then you don't execute at the same level. It's like people say knowledge is power. We all know that execution is power. Knowledge is potential power. Execution beats knowledge every day of the week. So my bias is towards action. Even if it's the wrong action, you're going to learn quicker than if you do nothing. But the challenge is people are asking how, and that produces uncertainty. What you got to ask is what and why.
Most people are afraid. Most people have been through shit in their life, and you have to really tap in, and you really have to get clear on your why and your driving force, and you have to face your fear. And until you do, you're not going to get what you want in life. And that's what holds most people back.
At a burrito, I came back and I'm in the law. When I walk in, I sit down, the doctor comes up and he says, "Oh my, I can't believe these arteries are in that young body." He goes, "Let me ask you a question. I heard your wife's pregnant. I said, "Yeah, I have a son." And he says, "Do you want to be there when he graduates from high school to be there for that day?" I said, "Yes, sir. Yeah." He goes, "Your wife's pregnant. What do you have?" And I said, "A daughter. This is where you get a dad." He goes, "Would you like to walk her down the aisle on her wedding day, or are you okay that it's some other man?" I went, "What the f is on this scan?" Right? And he goes, "I want to be very clear with you. If you keep going down the road you're going, there'll be some other man with your son at graduation high school, and a stranger's walking your daughter down the aisle that's not even born yet on her wedding day." And I went, boom. And he goes, "But if you do exactly what I tell you to do, you'll be there." And so to this day, brother, there are mornings when I wake up, not every morning, I don't want to go to the gym. I go, Bella's wedding, Bella's wedding, Bella's wedding. So my standards are high because of my big old reasons. Other dudes may miss the gym that day because they're not going to miss their daughter's wedding if they don't go. But I've convinced myself I'm going to get emotional. I've convinced myself I'll miss my daughter's wedding. So I will get my ass out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and I will get to that gym because my reasons are bigger, so my standards are bigger.
You can have what you want in 5 years, but there's 2 conditions. You have to know what it is and you have to aim at it. Figure out what you want, write it down, figure out what you could do to start moving towards that, okay? Do that with your family relationships. Do that with your friendships. Do that with your career. Do that with your education. Develop a vision.
You are a creative force. Get the millionaire mindset. If you don't have the millionaire mindset, that money is a renewable resource and that you can create, and it is God, the universe, which is the source of your supply that gives you the power to get right. If you don't have that mindset, then you're going to have a struggle making your first million and making any large amounts of money. Money is a renewable resource. You can create money.
Now let me give you a description of the one thing which represents the main difference between a successful person and a failure. Please listen carefully and think for yourself as I speak, because failure to recognize the truth I am about to give you is the starting point of most failures. Successful people in all occupations, all professions, and all callings have one trait which distinguishes them from the failures. It is their capacity for belief. The failures see the hole in the donut, but do not see the donut around the hole. The successes see the hole also, but they see the donut around the hole.
Changing your psychology around money changes absolutely everything.
The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank. The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank. We're going to go back to childhood and we're going to go to the future. What conversations do you remember your family having when you were young about money? What phrases? Here's some examples that might sound familiar. We can't afford it. Here's the consequence of that. This person, hopefully, they end up in a pretty nice job. Maybe they've done well. They have some decent amount of money. They come to me and they go, why do I still feel guilty ordering a salad when I eat out? And my partner is saying, we have the money. Look at our checking account. Why? Well, trace it all the way back to conversations you had starting at age 6.
Wow.
It's not about wealth. It's who you become.
Isn't it a strange fact that most people make a negative application of their great power of faith by thinking about and believing in poverty, ill health, fear, failure, and defeat, when it would be so easy for them just to change their thinking over to the circumstances and things they desire? If you aim for success above mediocrity, you will need to learn to act on your own personal initiative, because your success is something which you must achieve for yourself without someone telling you what to do or how to do it. There are 2 kinds of men who never amount to much: those who cannot do as they are told, and those who can do nothing else.
Most people learn how to fail and not to succeed. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. When they developed Tesla, everybody thought, not a new idea. But they were persistent, they were convincing, and they could see something that most people did not see. The same thing with Google, the same thing with Apple. They were providing something that people were looking for, but they did not know how to put it together. So if you want to be a billionaire, you have to start thinking what will work and not only what will fail. Billionaires look at their experience and say, this did not work, what can I learn from it? You have to change the way you think. Think about it.
There's been many periods in my life that I've had internal growth, which was this: work, 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 no results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, 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 no results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, 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 no results, I'm a little bit better. Work, boom, just got paid. I just got paid. And it looks like overnight success. Yeah. It's like, oh, it happened in a year. No, bro, it doesn't. Because if you do all those things, even if nothing happens and you know you're doing the right thing and you're on track, overnight success becomes this easy thing because you were internally growing and then the bubble popped. And then boom, it looks like you were doing it all wrong.
You want to make money, the key to making money is serving the most amount of people.
The more people you serve, the more money you make. People always say, athletes make so much money. Doctors should make more money than athletes. But I'm like, wait, how many patients you got? How many patients you got? The doctor got 30 patients. Well, you got 30 patient money. But how many people are enjoying watching LeBron play? Hundreds of millions. So he gets hundreds of millions of dollars. I said, dude, don't ever get it twisted. You serve more people, you get more props, you get more money.
Another way to get wealth is through servanthood. Listen very carefully. The more people you serve, the richer you become. The more people that you can serve and the more needs you can meet, the more successful you become.
If you're going to put your effort into something and you're going to work on something, you cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. I'm going to write a book. I can't afford to think that it won't sell. I'm going to build a business. I can't afford to think that I'm not going to get any clients.
Do not accept from life or anyone else anything you do not desire. And remember that Mahatma Gandhi proved himself to be more powerful than the great British military forces by this simple method of passive resistance. Keep your mind eternally engaged in thinking of that which you desire most, your major purpose in life. So no time will be left for you to waste on thinking of that which you do not want.
The more I listen to this, the better my life gets. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want.
Write out this sentence and paste it in a prominent place where you work and on a mirror where you see yourself in your home. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Remember also that you are the only person who can provide you with a positive mental attitude. What are you going to do about it? On your answer to this question rests your entire future.
Opportunities in life are like trains. There's always another one coming. There's not like this is the last opportunity that will ever present itself to you in this lifetime. No, there are an abundance of opportunities, tons of opportunities. There's huge amounts. And if you don't take advantage of this because of various conditions and circumstances that you can't, there'll be another one down the road. This is the confidence or knowingness that you can and will have tons of opportunities in this lifetime. You can't take advantage of every single one. Take advantage of the ones you want.
Oh, it's so easy to bank money. You know this. Online, anybody can go out and make 10 grand a month. Literally. I was talking with a guy in Singapore, probably worth a couple $1 billion. I was having a conversation with him. And he's like, you know what the biggest issue is between the elite and people that make no money? I'm like, what? Financial literacy. He said, most people are financially illiterate. And it's a language. And what do you mean it's a language? He's like, yes, finance is the language of the elite. Self-education will never betray you. Self-education will never betray you. You have to sit down. You don't like to read books? Nobody gives a f***. The marketplace doesn't care.
In order for us to change a belief or perception about ourselves and our lives, we have to make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that's greater than the hardwired programs in your brain and the emotional conditioning in your body. And your body literally has to respond to your mind. Examine your personality and examine your personal reality. Change your personality, change your personal reality. Don't make it be about abundance. Make it about becoming abundant by overcoming the person who's not abundant.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
The winner never quits, and a quitter never wins. Definiteness of purpose. By now you should know what you want most from life, and you should have a plan for minds capable of mastering all of their problems. Just remember this about adversities. Nothing is ever so bad or so unpleasant that it may not yield some benefit if we keep a positive mental attitude toward the experience and make it a habit to look for that seed of an equivalent benefit.
What is money? Define it. What is money? You go in, you give your time, your energy, your attention towards a task, and you get paid. What is those 15 pounds that you're getting for that hour worth? Your time? No, not your time. What is it worth? Where does it come from? Who gives that thing value? It has no value. that money isn't real. So what you need to do is you need to create money, and you create money by elevating the way that you think about finances, the way that you think about business, the way that you think about working. You don't work in order to get a paycheck. You work in order to build things that create money.
Your body is so objective that it's believing it's living in that reality where you are abundant. And as long as you feel that emotion, you're not separate from it any longer. You're no longer in lack. You're no longer looking for it to occur. Say, why hasn't it happened yet? If you're feeling abundant, why would you look? The longer you're conscious of that energy, the more you draw that future to you. Nothing changes in your life until you change.
Every family deserves to have a winner. I think it should be you. But you also have to disconnect, unplug your umbilical cord from the belly button of average and plug yourself into the mindset of a winner, which is a winner does more than expected every single time, no matter how they feel, no matter the circumstances. A winner shows up 10x times more than the average person. A winner has these unreasonable expectations of himself. A winner knows that he's destined for greatness. And no matter how many people around him tell him to slow down, be careful, watch out, that's too risky. You don't have the genetics, the DNA, the money, the mind, the brain power for that. A winner locks onto their goals and keeps going.
This is the millionaire mindset.
It's just money. It's made up. Pieces of paper with pictures on it so we don't have to kill each other just to get something to eat.
Rich people's mindset, the millionaire mindset, the real, most important millionaire mindset is this. You think and you know and you have complete confidence in your own ability to create. You know that you have the ability to create money. You have confidence that you have the ability to create money anytime you need. With the help of the universe.
There's nothing wrong with being broke, homie. It's only wrong with someone being poor. Because poor is a mindset. Broke is just a temporary situation. Just you to fix. But being poor, that's a mind state.
Let me tell you something. There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every time.
Poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shope taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. As you think, so you become. How awesome.
There's an important phrase we use here. I think it's time you all learned it. Act as if. You understand what that means? Act as if you are the president of this firm. And then you're a millionaire. And it's just that simple.
Let me tell you what rich people do. Rich people give themselves pep talks when no one's around. When they're by themselves, they say things like, I'm a winner. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I am going to win. I'm going to make this happen.
Look at all those people down there. They follow the rules for what? They're letting fear lead them.
What happens if they don't?
Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back.
Stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. See you at the top because the bottom is too crowded, but we never look down on anybody unless we're willing to help them up. Believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't.
Successful people are always too busy doing what the other guys are still talking about. Successful people are always willing to do what the other guys are not willing to do.
Your friends are shit. They tell me you made 25 grand last month, they're not gonna believe you. F them. Parents don't like the life you lead? You, mom and dad. See how it feels when you're making their excess payments.
Set a goal to become a millionaire. Here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. For what it will make of you to achieve it.
Today, it's easier to make money than ever before. You are on your way to having your first $1 million in the bank and all of your bills paid?
Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich.
Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development.
Why is it that people are successful? It's simply this. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Why? It's because the rich think about wealth and affluence all the time. And what do the poor think about? The poor think about lack, loss, and limitation, risk, danger, fear, failure all the time.
Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich.
You become what you think about. And here's the interesting thing. You can choose. Choose what you think about. Choose. With your business, choose what you're aiming at. With your leadership, choose what you're aiming at. With your team, choose. Help them choose. The act of intentionality is so freaking powerful. It's unbelievable. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. I am amazed at the things we don't do because we have this little tiny bit of fear that offsets all the other data and all the other evidence in our life that causes us to not go do something. Because we just don't believe. And it's weird. When you start to believe, you become what you think about.
Never say you can't do it. Say, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. And that's true with everything. It's like, there's nothing that you can't do. You may not have done it yet. We don't know if you can do it or not until you really practice. And then you find out if you can do it or not, or how well you can do it.
Money is not our issue. The mindset of money is our issue. If you don't have a mindset for money, then trading stocks and options wouldn't be the game for you because you're not going to know how to manage your risk. You're not going to have the discipline to be able to stay out of the market when necessary. You're not understanding money in its totality. So when you got the mindset of money coupled with the skill of making money, this is what equals a wealthy person. This is what allows a person to be able to build wealth throughout their generations.
You cannot have what you're not willing to become vibrationally. If you do get it, you'll lose it. This is why people that win the lottery, they lose everything. They'll get a modicum of success but can't hold on to it because inside they weren't vibrationally aligned. They really hadn't become it. So you can temporarily manipulate and get things, but to have it completely, you have to lift your vibration and become that.
You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got. I have found in my experience that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out where it is, it'll usually come back where you are. Life has strange ways. If somebody hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly, so you get to keep the money. Otherwise, sure enough, it'll disappear. Somebody once said, if you took all the money in the world, divided it up equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. Incredible.
Money does not exist. Did you know that? I learned that years ago from a very wealthy man. I was free from money that day. He says money is an idea. It's in your head. It's an idea. You are supposed to work for purpose, not money. If you find your purpose, money will find you. If you're not in your purpose, you haven't found your purpose, you're still working for money. Money's your cause.
Think and grow rich. If you can focus on building something for you, your life will be way better. So I started down that journey because at the end of the day, thoughts are things. What you think about truly becomes your reality. One of the most magnificent things that I've discovered in the 46 years I've been on this earth is that genuinely whatever reality you create in your mind, you can eventually walk towards and exist it. That's amazing because I believe we're creative. I believe that we can co-create. A lot of people think that's hocus pocus, but like my mentor said, he said, no, it's hocus focus. Wow. So if you focus on it for real, like really focus on a particular destination that you want to get to, and then you're willing to put in the work every day, consistently, eventually you can get there.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible.
What come out your mouth is what's gonna come back to you. It's the law of attraction. All men are dogs. You finna meet all of them. I never get nobody. You're not. I can't lose this weight. You sure ain't. I'm gonna get fit this year. Strong possibility. I'll never be rich. Promise you won't. I'm gonna be rich one day. Strong possibility. That's how it works, man. It is the law of attraction. The moment you say it, you begin to change. It's the process. If you think big, you'll be big. If you think small, you'll be small.
A negative mental attitude can bring you nothing but failure. Remember always, you are where you are and what you are because of your mental attitude in which you relate yourself to other people. Remember also, your mental attitude is the one and the only thing over which you have complete control. Success is something which has to be planned. And success is something which has to be earned.
Anything that you can hold in your mind on a continuing basis, you can be, have, or do. You will become what you think about. Your only job is to make a very, very clear decision about the person you want to be, the things that you want to have, the goals that you want to accomplish, and then make sure that you feed your mind continuously, day by day, week by week, hour by hour, with words, pictures, images, ideas, thoughts, and information consistent with your goals and your ideals.
You cannot have wealth in your material world until you first visualize the wealth in your mind.
If you get a picture of what you really want, then it's just a matter of time until you have it. They keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. So all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not.
About 5 years ago, I met a wise and wealthy man who had spent his entire life studying success. And he'd reached a clear conclusion concerning the reason for success in life and especially in business. He's dead now, but I'll never forget what he told me. He said the key to success was to set a goal and then to stay with it until you achieve success in at least one important thing. He said that your subconscious mind will then accept that success experience and store it as a pattern, like a template. And then from then on, your subconscious will drive you and direct you and guide you to repeat the pattern of success in other things that you attempt. Another way of saying it is that nothing succeeds like success. Psychologists have demonstrated that achievement brings you a natural high. Once you've experienced your first great success, then not only are you unconsciously programmed to repeat it, but nothing else will ever give you the same wonderful sense of satisfaction.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
When you realize how powerful your mind is, you can create anything you want. This is the goal, the main thing of being alive is learning how to create. And now when the veil is thinning, we're moving into this new earth, we're into the shifting, we're bringing all these abilities back. This is what you're supposed to learn how to do. This is your movie. So you are the producer, director, an actor in your own play. You're also the script writer, but the script isn't written. It's written as you go along. You can change it any time you want. You can create anything.
You know the only difference in steam and ice is the state of vibration of the water or the H2O. Do you know the only difference in where you are versus where you want to go is your state of vibration? Do you know that everything to get you there is already here, and it always has been? Do you know when you take an idea and you impregnate it over and over again, you impregnate that idea into one cell. When you impregnate that idea into the cell, that cell is dividing 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, and the process goes on at the rate of 50,000 cells per second. And the more and more you act on it, even though you don't feel good about it, but you work with the idea, you start to develop this change in vibration. But what is really happening is you're impregnating the cells with the characteristic or the idea. What we need to do is we need to constantly think about where we're going, what we want to do, and we start to increase our level of thinking by vibration, and we begin to attract thoughts of a like nature that'll move us in that direction.
How badly do you want what you want? How badly do you want it? Or do you want it at all? You see, there's an awful lot of people who want an awful lot of things. But how badly do they want it? If you want it so badly, if you want it with tremendous intensity of desire, there's really nothing in the world that can stop you from getting it. There's an interesting story was told about Socrates, and Socrates was talking to one of his students, and the student said, I am hungry for knowledge. What can I do to increase my knowledge? And Socrates said, knowledge is something that is readily available and easy to get if you want it bad enough. He said, I'm sure I want it badly enough. And Socrates said, come with me, and he walked him offshore into the ocean and walked him offshore into the Aegean Sea. And they got about 3 or 4 feet, and Socrates, a very, very strong man, grabbed the young man and put his head under the water. And the young man began to struggle and finally became incredibly frantic and finally brought him up and he said, now what did you want while you were under the water? And he said, all I wanted was air. He said, all I could think of in the whole world was air. He said, when you want knowledge with the same intensity that you wanted that oxygen, you will get all the knowledge that you could desire. And when you want anything with great intensity, if you have the desire, you'll get it.
This is the millionaire mindset.
Your subconscious mind hears what you tell it to hear and sees what you make it see. For example, if you're constantly thinking, I'm tired of being broke, your subconscious mind will prove you right. It hears, I'm tired and broke, and it works all day and night to make it true. Your words are spells. That's why you spell words. They're magical. Your tongue can slay you. Hold it if you don't know how to use it.
Stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough, soon enough. See you at the top because the bottom is too crowded, but we never look down on anybody unless we're willing to help them up. Believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't.
Successful people are always too busy doing what the other guys are still talking about. Successful people are always willing to do what the other guys are not willing to do.
Your friends are shit. They tell me you made 25 grand last month. They're not gonna believe you. Them. Parents don't like the life you lead? You, mom and dad. See how it feels when you're making their payments.
Set a goal to become a millionaire. Here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. For what it will make of you to achieve it.
Today, it's easier to make money than ever before. You are on your way to having your first $1 million in the bank and all of your bills paid.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period. Start working for yourself. Sky's the limit.
What is the one thing that people who made $1 million that they did that I guarantee you are not doing? It is called work. They worked 12 to 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week on making money. They had an obsession with making money. That's all they thought about. They had singular focus. They had singleness of purpose. And I guarantee you don't do that because you want to live a balanced life. Well, I'm sorry, but people who succeed in life don't live a balanced life. It is a fantasy. It is a myth. If you say, I want to live a balanced life and make millions, welcome to Fantasy Island.
If you want to unlock your potential, if you want to go straight to the stars, you have to use the law of substitution to keep your mind on what you want. Use the law of concentration to dwell continually on the results you desire. Be solution-centered rather than problem-centered. Be goal-centered rather than loss-centered. And the law of subconscious activity will begin to adjust your words, your actions, your feelings, your emotions, and everything to the point where you will draw into your life the people and circumstances that will harmonize with it. Now, what's the most powerful thing you can do? It's very simply this. Success begins with taking purposeful, systematic control of the content of your conscious mind. Purposeful, systematic control of the content of your conscious mind. Everything comes back to the law of control.
Is there any better feeling than being locked in?
No.
Like when you are locked in and you are, you're taking, and you're in a rhythm and every day you're knocking it down. You never miss a step. Like you go to bed feeling great. You wake up feeling inspired. You go in the gym with energy, right? Like that's the best way to live it.
But I promise you, bro, you have so much potential. If you literally just took it and put it in one place, you could literally change your life.
Truly believe that if you put your 100% effort into something, then you can't lose. God knows if you deserve the results. And if you truly try, you truly commit yourself 100% to something, I don't see how you can fail it. In fact, I don't think you can. In fact, I completely refuse. You can't fail at it.
You said you were going to do it this year, but you didn't. So what's going to be different about this year? What kind of person are you going to actually become in order to achieve what the you want to achieve.
There's a law in physics that basically says that when you have energy that is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. So if you do that 17 seconds, 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. So let's say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, all of those are lower, denser frequencies. You get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. Let's say that I normally live in contentment, and that's my set point because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is, that sort of thing. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden, a car cuts me off, and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office, and I'm telling all my colleagues, here's what happened. This knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating. So where my thoughts are, that's what's creating my reality.
It is easier to make money than ever before. You can make more money faster today than ever before in history. Why aren't more people making money? Wealthy people show initiative. Broke people don't.
The faster you are, the more money you will make. Your bank account is actually a reflection of how fast you move. I was sitting with one of my mentors, Bill Perkins. I asked him, Bill, you're worth a lot of money. You've made hundreds of millions of dollars. Why do you think you've been so successful? And he kind of looked at me and he thought for a second. And he said, I move really fast. By the time somebody else has thought about an idea, taken it to investment committee, I've already started, made 3 mistakes, and found a better way.
Now y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't have it.
A broke person thinks that there's a limit to opportunity and a limit to the amount of money out there, that there's a finite resource of money. They think, I just don't have opportunities. I've missed the opportunities. There's this limiting belief around money that poor or broke people have. Rich people, on the other hand, understand this, that money is a renewable resource, which means if they lose all their money today, it's no problem. They can create more. Do you understand this? Do you think that you can create as much money as you want? You don't, do you?
Working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
When you really want something, just in my life experience and seeing other people, seeing myself, seeing other people that like made stuff happen, it's like, man, when you really want something, you're gonna find a way, ultimately.
Every single day is about winning that battle against yourself.
And it might not be today or next year or 5 years or 10 years, but this thing takes priority and precedent over all other things.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better.
When you realize you have to make this shit work or you're falling on your face, it's a different kind of grind, a different kind of mentality, a different kind of person, a different side of you that you've never seen before that comes out when you go all in.
Everybody has the desire to do something, but they don't have they don't know how to really complete the process of dedicating themselves and having the discipline to do it.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional?
You have to be crazy enough to think that it's possible. That's how you do something worthwhile. That's how you beat the odds. You have to believe it's possible, okay? And when you believe something is possible, everything else will figure itself out.
If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
The power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is. I'm still learning. But I know one thing is I can make things happen.
We don't get in life a reflection of what we want, because what we want we lack, but we always get a reflection of who we are being. And who we are being is representative of our vibration, how we're thinking, feeling, and acting. So becoming aware of those 3 things and becoming aware of where the attachments are from childhood, where the attachments are from the past, is where the freedom really begins. Much of my journey has been just becoming aware of these attachments, letting them go. Once you let that go, things naturally begin to align. And as a result of that alignment, there's more synchronicity. You're in the right place at the right time. You're feeling higher vibrational emotions where you could literally feel high a majority of the time without using substances. And once you're aware that that's a potential, then becomes a game of what can I let go of?
This shit
is worth more money than anything ever, because you can make so much money off of this, bro. Look at me crazy, call me crazy in the beginning, but once I'm making millions of dollars, playing video games, having fun.
We are creative beings, and we can create money. Not that we can, we actually do. That's how money manifests in people's life. They create it. And when you have this mindset, the universe will then present to you and have bubble up ideas about how to make money.
Let's consider money butterflies. So let's say you want to catch butterflies. Butterflies equate to dollars. There's two ways that you can gather butterflies. The first way is build a net, right? Build a massive net. It doesn't matter how optimized the net is. It doesn't matter how sophisticated it is. You always have to swing in order to catch butterflies. That's most people hustling. That's where most people start. But you need to develop a second skill set, which is how to attract butterflies. How do you attract butterflies? By building a garden.
Changing your psychology around money changes absolutely everything.
Do you want to become a billionaire? Then you have to think like a billionaire.
It's just money. It's made up. Pieces of paper with pictures on it, so we don't have to kill each other just to get something to eat.
Rich people's mindset, the millionaire mindset, the real most important millionaire mindset is this. You think and you know and you have complete confidence in your own ability to create. You know that you have the ability to create money. You have confidence that you have the ability to create money anytime you need, with the help of the universe.
There's nothing wrong with being broke, homie. It's only wrong with someone being poor, because poor is a mindset. Broke is just a temporary situation, just you can fix. But being poor, that's a mind state.
The reason you want it so damn bad is because you know you can get it. You know you're capable. You know if you do everything right or everything that you're supposed to do, that you can achieve it. And when you know you can do it, you get pissed off when you don't have it already. And see, the problem is so many people don't think that they can do it. That's when you lose your drive. People want to talk about where's that fire. That fire is by starting it. You got to ignite it, and that's going to light that fire. Now you know how big this fire can get. You know how dangerous you could be. You just got to stoke the fire every day. You got to keep adding to it. Every time you add to it, it gets a little bigger. It gets a little more possible. It doesn't seem so crazy anymore. And after you add it enough, you see what's capable. Until one day that fire's there and it's enraged, all because of a spark.
Nothing ever just happens by luck, but every effect has its definite cause, albeit we often observe effects, the causes of which we cannot isolate or understand.
Now there's three types of people in this world. Those who watch things happen, those who wonder what happened, and those who get up and make it happen. And it's easy for you to figure out what type of person you are. Do you wait to start doing it until you feel like doing it? Or do you get up and get after it until you feel like doing it? Come on now. It starts with the dream killer button. Don't hit it. What you doing? You gonna snooze yourself or choose yourself? Don't confuse yourself and lose yourself. How you gonna start your day with a nap? You ain't even done nothing yet. You had plans on waking up last night when you set that alarm. What happened since then? Your dreams got smaller, so you stay in your bed. Your life is less important than the excuses in your head. You stay in your bed, your dreams stay in your head. Choosing your feelings instead of what you said last night when that alarm was said.
The reason you don't have more money in your life is because you settle for mediocrity. Because money is a frequency. It's an energy. It's a vibration. So when you readily accept lower quality food, what you're saying to the universe is, universe, I happily accept the lowest quality for the most important thing of my life, my body. Please, universe, don't send me more money because I am happy with less than what is ultimately available to me. You see how you're creating more of what you don't want? You're not living in your authentic self. Poor in spirit people say the words, I can't afford that. Authentic self people say the words, how could I afford that? That's the shift.
I shall introduce you to your greatest asset, and with this introduction, the master key to success will be within your easy reach. I say this is your greatest asset with which you may tap and draw upon the supreme power which created you and runs this entire universe. The name of this principle is applied faith. I should know what I'm talking about because I was handicapped at birth by the 4 horsemen which keep most people in bondage all the days of their lives: poverty, fear, illiteracy, and superstition.
I'm gonna just tell you guys right now straight up how it works in life. There's cheat codes in life, bro. There's shortcuts in life. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, you watch me because in some way you can relate to me or you look up to me in some way. Well, guess what? You can go out and get this shit too. I'm trying to tell you it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, a lot of blessings, a lot of luck. It's lucky. But at the same time, you have people that work years and years and years and years, and it finally will pay off. If you work extremely hard at whatever you got going on, something that you love to do, I swear to God, your life will change. It takes one whole year to see crazy improvement.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
You gotta want it bad. You gotta want it so bad that it hurts. That you don't have it yet. That throughout your whole life, every day, day in and day out, you've been putting in work and you're not there yet. That should be painful. You should be punching yourself for this. I thought you wanted this shit. You tell everybody you want this shit. You wake up and you tell yourself you're gonna get it. And then you fail to live up to your own expectations every single goddamn day. You gotta want it with your heart. You gotta wake up and you gotta want it. You gotta want it as bad as you wanna breathe, as you wanna eat, as you wanna go to bed, and you can't sleep because you're tossing and turning thinking about what you gotta do tomorrow, and your goals are so far away, and you're walking and you need to sprint to even catch up, to even get close. You gotta want it so bad that nothing else matters. Anything that's not working towards that is a waste of your time. That's how bad you gotta want it. So stop wasting every single day. You gotta get up and get the fuck after it. Let's go.
You want that? Not a problem, but let's learn the formula of how to create, right? Yes. So then you'd have to feel those emotions before the experience occurred. And if you understood that you could dissociate all of your attention from this 3-dimensional reality and have no attention on anything known, and understand that it's the field that creates matter, not matter that emits the field. And if you could get to that place and change your energy with a clear intention and elevated emotion, your heart starts beating in this beautiful rhythm like a drum. We've measured it so many times. And when that occurs, the next thing that happens, the heart informs the brain, it's safe to create now.
Everyone, said Mr. Carnegie, comes to the earth plane blessed with the privilege of controlling his mind power and directing it to whatever ends he may choose. But, he continued, everyone brings over with him at birth the equivalent of 2 sealed envelopes, one of which is clearly labeled, the riches you may enjoy if you take possession of your own mind and direct it to ends of your own choice. And the other is labeled, the penalties you must pay if you neglect to take possession of your mind and direct it. Your only limitations are those which you set up in your own mind or permit others to set up for you.
I can't. You can't? Are you kidding me? You just said I can't? Like, I want to fucking slap that mother. You know what I'm saying? I can't?
Applied faith is the mental attitude wherein you may clear your mind of all fears and doubts and direct it to the attainment of whatever you desire in life.
The next year is going to go by whether you're doing something about your life or not.
Write down what you're trying to get done. Write down what you need to get done on a long-term basis and what you need to get done on a short-term basis. And write off a checklist. Force yourself. Be accountable.
The difference between a dream and a goal is a timeline and accountability. Because, I mean, just sitting around dreaming someday, someday I'm going to get a different job. Someday I'm going to change this. Well, someday ain't a day of the week.
It is an inevitable law of nature that you lose that which you do not use. And of course, this applies to the use of your own mind, the same as to everything else. There are no more opportunities to become rich, did I hear you say? Remember, you are given as your richest birthright the privilege of controlling your own thoughts. Therefore, treat this divine gift with the profound respect to which it is entitled, and do not allow anyone to do your thinking for you, or to influence your thinking in any manner whatsoever, except by the rules of accurate thinking I am passing on to you. Follow this procedure regardless of what people think or say about your method of thinking. If they wish to call you a cynic or a doubting Thomas, let that be their misfortune. But for your own good, go right on thinking by rules which will save you from many mistakes and tragedies throughout your life. A power which is greater than poverty, greater than the lack of education, greater than all of your fears and superstitions combined. It is the power to take possession of your own mind and direct it to whatever ends you may desire. When doubt creeps into your mind, remember that whatsoever a man believeth, that shall he also reap. Remember that your mental attitude is something you control outright, and you must use self-discipline until you create a thought pattern or thought habits which keep your mental attitude positive at all times. Your mental attitude is important because it acts as a magnet which attracts to you everything, every circumstance which makes you what you are and where you are.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next month. Pero only one thing is true. I will be champion one day. I promise. I promise.
One thing is certain. No one ever becomes very wise without the aid of self-discipline. And no one ever finds peace of mind and happiness without the strict exercise of self-discipline.
Believe me, the more you put into anything, the more you're going to get out. The more you put in, the more you get out. So stop making excuses. Get out there and do whatever it takes to reach your goals. Jesus Christ.
Pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll win. If you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody go themselves, you put so much practice into you, you know exactly what to do. It just sucks doing it. There is no get out of jail free card. This is why I say stay hard. Because when you weren't given the gifts, the only thing you can do in life is stay hard. When you put that practice in, every day you lace them up. And I don't mean run. It's just a metaphor for life.
Remember, faith is not something you get. Faith is something you already have. But you may be using it in reverse gear by believing in the circumstances and things you do not want, the things you fear. Faith is guidance only. It is not a power which will bring you what you want, but a power that can guide you to go after what you want and get it.
Nobody's coming to save you, big dog. Don't you get that? Your whole life has led to this point because of you. Your shitty decisions, your f***ed up habits, your poor choices have caused you to end up at this point. The only person, big dog, that's gonna get you out of this spot is you.
You need to get scared. You need to get freaked out. If you're not where you want to be right now, you need to get scared. All these people that are telling you it's not your fault, you have time, yada, yada, yada. No, you don't. Because those are the exact people that don't make it. It should freak you out that your parents aren't taken care of. It should freak you out that you don't have the life you want to have. It should freak you out that if something happened, something went wrong, you could do nothing about it because you're living paycheck to paycheck. That should freak you out.
Bro, this is not that hard. It's just hard to do. There is no secret. There is no quick fix. There is no hack. There is no path of least resistance. The quickest way for you to go from where the you are to where you want to be is that shit you're trying to avoid doing. And not only is it the fastest way, it's the only way in most cases to get where you're trying to go. I must work hard. I must have failures so I develop skills. And I must not quit so I can continue to push forward.
Choices and you don't look back.
About 85 to 95% of all of the influences in your life, all the reasons you do anything, is because of suggestive influences around you. Not only physical suggestions, the weather, the heat, the cold, and so on, but also the emotional suggestions, the impact of the people you associate with. And the more you associate with people, especially people in your family, people in your close social circle, people that you work with, the more you associate with these people, the more of an impact they have on your thinking and on your future. Question, who do you identify with? Now, whoever you identify with today, one of the things you have to ask yourself is who would you like to be like? Who do you want to identify with? And then you start getting around the right people. Keep your mind on what you want. Keep it off of what you don't want. and everything is possible for you.
Here is a terrible word almost everybody uses concerning money that you need to wash right out of your vocabulary. Never again say spend money. Spend means it's gone. I've gotten rid of it. I'm not going to see it anymore. As long as the thought is formed in your mind, spend money, you are dismissing money from. I prefer circulate. To circulate means what? Return to point of origin. See, this way you've always got a hold of your money. It never gets away. It circulates. It goes over there and pays your light bill and comes back and brings more with it. All of the money that I use returns to me multiplied in a never-ending cycle of increase and enjoyment, thank God.
If I want to attract a lot of money, I got to see myself with a lot of money. I got to mentally accept I've already got it. I don't let my bank account dictate that. I choose that. Choosing myself to see myself with the good I already desire, I'm on that frequency. Now the trick is to stay on that frequency. Most people look at the results and they let the results dictate the frequency they're on. That's why they keep getting the same results. They have the image in their mind. They're already reached the goal they want. They're already successful. And somebody else comes along and says, well, you haven't got those results. In my mind, I have. But they're not looking in my mind. They're looking at my present results. And then pretty soon I start listening to them. I think, God, they're right. I look at my results. I haven't got it. Do you see why we keep getting this poor result? You've got to see yourself with the good you desire. You've got to hold that image in your mind. You've got to know it's going to come.
One of the fastest ways to create something in your physical reality is to reverse the normal process by which we create things. Usually we create things first by thinking about it. I think I'll go to that party. And then we say something about it, as in, Matilda, I'm coming to your party tonight. And then we do something about it, as in showing up at the party. Here I am, just as I said I would be, because I thunked the thought this morning. Okay? That's generally how we produce things in our reality. In fact, everything in this room was once a thought in someone's mind. There is nothing that was not once a thought in someone's mind somewhere. But if you want to really play tricks with the universe and create magic with the stuff of life itself, reverse the thought, word, deed paradigm. Turn it upside down and start with the deed. That is to say, act as if. If you want to experience abundance, be abundant and do as abundance does. Therefore, if you have only $5 left to your name, go to a store and get them transferred, made into singles, and take 5 singles and walk down the street and give a single to each of 5 people who have even less than you do. And by the way, you will find those people very easily.
It's crazy because I used to tell myself at 14, 15, like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, like, I'm gonna own it. Like, I used to, like, going, like, not even hype, like, thoughts for hours, like, if I had money and shit, like, what I do, how I do this. And it's crazy because, like, now it's like, that's my life, like, scary almost. Like, real deal. I remember, like, being on the train going to school, like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna have a car, I'm gonna be driving down the street, I can see myself. Then I actually, like, came and did it, like, crazy.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them.
The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank.
You have to change the way you think.
The number one thing that's keeping you poor is your mouth, what you say. You see, what you say is what you get. Your tongue is a creative force. Words have power, more power than you could ever imagine. Every word that comes out of your mouth has 100 to 1,000 times more power than a thought. If you believe that what you say will happen, you will get whatever you say.
Listen to me. Rich people think different. So what I'm going to put in your head today is rich people concept so you can get to understand it. The only difference between successful people and not is just how they think. Rich people think different. Quit letting people tell you you got to get qualified in another program. You don't need another program to be successful. You need to change the way you think.
How would an abundant person think? Write it down, dude, and fire and wire those thoughts in your brain and install the hardware. Keep doing it with attention and intention. It becomes the new voice in your head. It becomes a software program. Then say, okay, how am I going to be in my life today? What would an abundant person, how would they behave? And before you reach for your cell phone and start scrolling through your social media, close your eyes and rehearse in your mind how that person would walk, how they would breathe, how they would smile, how they would greet people, how they would be on Zoom calls, how would they be in traffic, how would they be at dinner. And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing the act, if you're truly present, the brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining.
Say no to the paycheck. Paycheck make you poor because they make a slave mindset, not a master mindset.
Make up your mind. That's this idea of you got to be realistic, that you got to be logical is a bunch of nonsense. You don't have to be logical at all. I've been totally illogical many times, and it's helped me earn a lot of money.
When you speak of your poverty and lack of education, you are simply directing your mind power to attract these undesirable circumstances. Because it is true that whatever your mind feeds upon, your mind attracts to you. Now you see why it is important that you recognize that all success begins with definiteness of purpose, with a clear picture in your mind of precisely what you want from life.
You are on your way to making your fortune. You can do it. You have greatness within you. Remember, you were born to win. You were engineered for success. You were designed for accomplishment, and you were endowed with the seeds of greatness.
Do you want to become a billionaire? Then you have to think like a billionaire. Billionaires do not think about pennies and cents and dollars. They think big, and they think of ways of getting there, not of ways of not getting there.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them. And there's only one reason it's not in their lives, and that's because they're stopping it from coming into their lives.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How are we stopping it?
By thinking we don't have enough, by thinking we don't deserve it, by maybe being programmed the way you were, that my family didn't have very much, I'm destined to not have very much, kind of born on the wrong side of the tracks kind of thing, or all of those thoughts, to believe that we only get money through our job. If you believe that that's the only way you're going to get money, that's the only way that you're going to get money. But you can get money from unbelievable, unlimited different ways.
If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start. Why not? Who gonna stop you? Unless you tell it to the wrong person. Mama, listen to me. I'm going to be rich. Ain't nobody rich in this family. Go in there and sit down somewhere. Get yourself a good job. Oh, mama, you must be right. No, mama could be wrong. Because what you have in your imagination, God didn't show it to your mama. I'm sorry. He showed it to you.
Know what you want and believe that you can and will get it. Give expressions of gratitude many times daily for having received that which you want, even before you actually get physical possession of it. Possession starts first in the mind. But please remember this. Remember, there can be no application of applied faith without action. When overtaken by defeat, as you may be many times, remember that man's faith is tested many times before he is crowned with final victory. And accept your defeat as nothing more than a challenge to keep on trying.
But I'm starting to realize, bro, when you dance to your own rhythm, when you play by your own rules, and you living through your vision, that's a perfect indication you're doing it correctly. Because they literally don't see what you see. They don't see it. They don't see what you see. They don't see as far as you see. And they don't understand why you see what you see. They don't even understand where it's coming from internally. They don't. I didn't get that back then. I just knew I had the desire for more. I knew I had a vision that I couldn't ignore.
There is no end to what you're capable of doing. Once you get into this vibration, you'll start attracting things. Opportunity is just going to pop up everywhere you go.
Delayed gratification, which means putting off enjoying the fruits of your labor for a period of time. It's temporary so that you're focused in on what you're doing. This is the one thing that people always did that people that are not successful don't do. They're obsessed with making money. They're obsessed with their mission, their purpose, their idea, their project. And it's all they do. It's all they think about. They eat, drink, and sleep this obsession. They work on it, but it's not work to them. They absolutely love the journey because they understand the journey is actually the reward. What you say is what you get. The tongue is a creative force. What do you say when you talk to yourself? Do you call yourself names or do you give yourself a pep talk? Wealthy people give people pep talks. If you do these things, you can be on your way to putting $1 million cash in the bank. And I have to tell you, making money today is easier than ever before in history. It's not harder, it's easier.
And you get it when you believe it. You get it when you believe you have it. And that's the key. It's like people still, they sit around going, when's it going to come? 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 And that's the wrong way. You have to go, it's here, it's here.
The person who's living in lack is waiting for their wealth to feel abundant. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. They're waiting for their mystical experience to feel awe. That's the Newtonian model of reality, of cause and effect. Waiting for that event to happen to take away this separation or lack. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way most people create. But what we've discovered is actually something else. The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're empowered, you are moving towards your success. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you'll create an equal. The moment you are in awe of life, you're going to have a mystical experience. And so that's causing an effect.
If you want it, don't just think you want it, go out and f***ing want it. But you're not looking like you want it. You look like you're feeling sorry for yourself. And nobody wants anybody that's feeling sorry for themselves.
Isn't it strange that so often people have to be cut down by failure and defeat before they learn that they have minds capable of mastering all of their problems? Just remember this about adversities. Nothing is ever so bad or so unpleasant that it may not yield some benefit if we keep a positive mental attitude toward the experience and make it a habit to look for that seed of an equivalent benefit.
What is money? Define it. What is money? You go in, you give your time, your energy, your attention towards a task, and you get paid. What is those 15 pounds that you're getting for that hour worth? Your time? No, not your time. What is it worth? Where does it come from? Who gives that thing value? It has no value. That money isn't real. So what you need to do is you need to create money. And you create money by elevating the way that you think about finances, the way that you think about business, the way that you think about working. You don't work in order to get a paycheck. You work in order to build things that create money.
Your body is so objective that it's believing it's living in that reality where you are abundant. And as long as you feel that emotion, you're not separate from it any longer. You're no longer in lack. You're no longer looking for it to occur. Say, why hasn't it happened yet? If you're feeling abundant, why would you look? The longer you're conscious of that energy, the more you draw that future to you. Nothing changes in your life until you change.
Every family deserves to have a winner. I think it should be you. But you also have to disconnect, unplug your umbilical cord from the belly button of average and plug yourself into the mindset of a winner, which is a winner does more than expected every single time, no matter how they feel, no matter the circumstances. A winner shows up 10x times more than the average person. A winner has these unreasonable expectations of himself. A winner knows that he's destined for greatness. And no matter how many people around him tell him to slow down, be careful, watch out, that's too risky. You don't have the genetics, the DNA, the money, the mind, the brain power for that. A winner locks onto their goals and keeps going.
The reason you want it so damn bad is because you know you can get it. You know you're capable. You know if you do everything right or everything that you're supposed to do, that you can achieve it. And when you know you can do it, you get pissed off when you don't have it already. And see, the problem is so many people don't think that they can do it. That's when you lose your drive. People want to talk about where's that fire. That fire is by starting it. You gotta ignite it, and that's gonna light that fire. Now you know how big this fire can get. You know how dangerous you could be. You just gotta stoke the fire every day. You gotta keep adding to it. Every time you add to it, it gets a little bigger. It gets a little more possible. It doesn't seem so crazy anymore. And after you add it enough, you see what's capable. Until one day that fire's there and it's rage, all because of a spark.
Nothing ever just happens by luck, but every effect has its definite cause, albeit we often observe effects, the causes of which we cannot isolate or understand.
Now, there's three types of people in this world. Those who watch things happen, those who wonder what happened, and those who get up and make it happen. And it's easy for you to figure out what type of person you are. Do you wait to start doing it until you feel like doing it? Or do you get up and get after it until you feel like doing it? Come on now. It starts with the dream killer button. Don't hit it. What you doing? You gonna snooze yourself or choose yourself? Don't confuse yourself and lose yourself. How you gonna start your day with a nap? You ain't even done nothing yet. You had plans on waking up last night when you set that alarm. What happened since then? Your dreams got smaller, so you stay in your bed. Your life is less important than the excuses in your head. You stay in your bed, your dreams stay in your head. Choosing your feelings instead of what you said last night when that alarm was set.
The reason you don't have more money in your life is because you settle for mediocrity. Because money is a frequency, it's an energy, it's a vibration. So when you readily accept lower quality food, what you're saying to the universe is, universe, I happily accept the lowest quality for the most important thing of my life, my body. Please, universe, don't send me more money because I am happy with less than what is ultimately available to me. You see how you're creating more of what you don't want? You're not living in your authentic self. Poor in spirit people say the words, I can't afford that. Authentic self people say the words, how could I afford that? That's the shift.
I shall introduce you to your greatest asset. And with this introduction, the master key to success will be within your easy reach. I say this is your greatest asset with which you may tap and draw upon the supreme power which created you and runs this entire universe. The name of this principle is applied faith. I should know what I'm talking about because I was handicapped at birth by the 4 horsemen which keep most people in bondage all the days of their lives. Poverty, fear, illiteracy, and superstition.
I'm gonna just tell you guys right now straight up how it works in life. There's cheat codes in life, bro. There's shortcuts in life. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now. You watch me because in some way you can relate to me or you look up to me in some way. Well, guess what? You can go out and get this shit too. I'm trying to tell you it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, a lot of blessings, a lot of luck. It's luck. But at the same time, you have people that work years and years and years and years, and it finally will pay off. If you work extremely hard at whatever you got going on, something that you love to do, I swear to God, your life will change. It takes 1 whole year to see crazy improvement.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
You gotta want it bad. You gotta want it so bad that it hurts. That you don't can have it yet. That throughout your whole life, every day, day in and day out, you've been putting in work and you're not there yet. That should be painful. You should be punching yourself for this. I thought you wanted this shit. You tell everybody you want this shit. You wake up and you tell yourself you're gonna get it. And then you fail to live up to your own expectations every single goddamn day. You gotta want it with your heart. You gotta wake up and you gotta want it. You gotta want it as bad as you wanna breathe, as you wanna eat, as you wanna go to bed, and you can't sleep because you're tossing and turning thinking about what you gotta do tomorrow, and your goals are so far away, and you're walking and you need to sprint to even catch up, to even get close. You gotta want it so bad that nothing else matters. Anything that's not working towards that is a waste of your time. That's how bad you gotta want it. So stop wasting every single day. You gotta get up and get the fuck after it. Let's go.
You want that? Not a problem, but let's learn the formula of how to create, right? Yes. So then you'd have to feel those emotions before the experience occurred. And if you understood that you could dissociate all of your attention from this 3-dimensional reality and have no attention on anything known, and understand it's the field that creates matter, not matter that emits the field. And if you could get to that place and change your energy with a clear intention and elevated emotion, your heart starts beating in this beautiful rhythm like a drum. We've measured it so many times. And when that occurs, the next thing that happens, the heart informs the brain, it's safe to create now. What would be the outcome? The experiment of being abundant would be that you would have to feel that feeling. Get so good at doing it with your eyes closed. You got to do it with your eyes open. Now, why? Because if you're feeling the feelings of your emotions, of your future, you're no longer looking for them.
You can do whatever you make up your mind to do. Believe, and you shall receive. Will you please remember that your life is exactly what you make it by your own mental attitude.
Listen to this. You do not have to be the smartest cat in town to earn a lot of money. As a matter of fact, you can be pretty dumb and earn a lot of money. I was pretty dumb and I was earning a lot of money. So when people tell me you got to be smart to earn a lot of money, I know that's not true because I knew I wasn't very smart and I was earning a lot of money.
If you complain about money, if you judge people who have it, if you rush when you're in lack, if you cheat when you don't have what you need, an abundant person doesn't do that. You got to look at that and say, I got to break these habits. Yes. Oh my God, if I truly want to be abundant, I can't act this way. Now here's the big one. If I truly want to be a new personality that's in a new personal reality, I can't take lack with me. I can't take unworthiness. I can't take the story that goes along with it with my parents or my grandparents or my ex or whatever. That story has to end.
When people look at the money that they're making and then the amount of effort that it takes them to make that money, they're like, you know what, at least I worked hard for my money. Bro, money gets printed out of thin air. You need to figure out how to make as much of it for the least amount of effort as possible. Why? Because there's dudes out there that are printing it. I don't think you understand. They're literally printing it. Printing it, and you're out here working for it, slaving away. So you need to ask yourself, how can I get as much money as possible for the least amount of effort? So you need to start a business. You need to be able to understand how to arbitrage. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to market. These basic skills, because the assumption that you're going to find security in a job is a fallacy. They can fire you for any of a million reasons tomorrow. Your skills are what's going to determine if you stay afloat or not, if you have the ability to make money. The job doesn't count. The idea of having a side hustle that you're not actually fully invested doesn't count. You need to be focused on making money. Money is the name of the game. You have to take care of it.
You are a creative force. Get the millionaire mindset. If you don't have the millionaire mindset, that money is a renewable resource and that you can create, and it is God, the universe, which is the source of your supply, that gives you the power to get right. If you don't have that mindset, then you're going to have a struggle making your first million and making any large amounts of money. Money is a renewable resource. You can create money.
Now let me give you a description of the one thing which represents the main difference between a successful person and a failure. Please listen carefully and think for yourself as I speak, because failure to recognize the truth I am about to give you is the starting point of most failures. Successful people in all occupations, all professions, and all callings have one trait which distinguishes them from the failures. It is their capacity for belief. The failures see the hole in the donut, but do not see the donut around the hole. The successes see the hole also, but they see the donut around the hole.
Changing your psychology around money changes absolutely everything.
The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank. The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank. We're going to go back to childhood and we're going to go to the future. What conversations do you remember your family having when you were young about money? What phrases? Here's some examples that might sound familiar. We can't afford it. Here's the consequence of that. This person, hopefully, they end up in a pretty nice job. Maybe they've done well. They have some decent amount of money. They come to me to go, why do I still feel guilty ordering a salad when I eat out? And my partner is saying, we have the money. Look at our checking account. Why? Well, trace it all the way back to conversations you had starting at age 6.
Wow.
It's not about wealth. It's who you become.
Isn't it a strange fact that most people make a negative application of their great power of faith by thinking about and believing in poverty, ill health, fear, failure, and defeat, when it would be so easy for them just to change their thinking over to the circumstances and things they desire? If you aim for success above mediocrity, you will need to learn to act on your own personal initiative, because your success is something which you must achieve for yourself without someone telling you what to do or how to do it. There are two kinds of men who never amount to much: those who cannot do as they are told, and those who can do nothing else.
Most people learn how to fail and not to succeed. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. When they developed Tesla, everybody thought, not a new idea. But they were persistent, they were convincing, and they could see something that most people did not see. The same thing with Google, the same thing with Apple. They were providing something that people were looking for, but they did not know how to put it together. So if you want to be a billionaire, you have to start thinking what will work and not only what will fail. Billionaires look at their experience and say, this did not work, what can I learn from it? You have to change the way you think. Think about it.
There's been many periods in my life that I've had internal growth, which was this: work, no results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, no results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, no results, I'm a little bit better. Work, boom, just got paid. I just got paid. And it looks like overnight success. Yeah. It's like, oh, it happened in a year. No, bro, it doesn't. Because if you do all those things, even if nothing happens and you know you're doing the right thing and you're on track, overnight success becomes this easy thing because you were internally growing and then the bubble popped. And then boom, it looks like you were doing it all wrong.
You want to make money? The key to making money is serving the most amount of people. The more people you serve, the more money you make. People always say, athletes make so much money. Doctors should make more money than athletes. But I'm like, wait, how many patients you got? How many patients you got? The doctor got 30 patients. Well, you got 30 patient money. But how many people are enjoying watching LeBron play? Hundreds of millions? So he gets hundreds of millions of dollars. I said, dude, don't ever get it twisted. You serve more people, you get more props, you get more money.
Another way to get wealth is through servanthood. Listen very carefully. The more people you serve, the richer you become. The more people that you can serve and the more needs you can meet, the more successful you become.
If you're going to put your effort into something and you're going to work on something, you cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. I'm going to write a book. I can't afford to think that it won't sell. I'm going to build a business. I can't afford to think that I'm not going to get any clients.
Do not accept from life or anyone else anything you do not desire. And remember that Mahatma Gandhi proved himself to be more powerful than the great British military forces by this simple method of passive resistance. Keep your mind eternally engaged in thinking of that which you desire most, your major purpose in life, so no time will be left for you to waste on thinking of that which you do not want.
The more I listen to this, the better my life gets. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want.
Write out this sentence and paste it in a prominent place where you work and on a mirror where you see yourself in your home. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Remember also that you are the only person who can provide you with a positive mental attitude. What are you going to do about it? On your answer to this question rests your entire future.
Opportunities in life are like trains. There's always another one coming. There's not like this is the last opportunity that will ever present itself to you in this lifetime. No, there are an abundance of opportunities, tons of opportunities. There's huge amounts. And if you don't take advantage of this because of various conditions and circumstances that you can't, there'll be another one down the road. This is the confidence or knowing this, that you can and will have tons of opportunities in this lifetime. You can't take advantage of every single one. Take advantage of the ones you want.
Oh, it's so easy to bank money. You know this. Online, anybody can go out and make 10 grand a month. Literally. I was talking with a guy in Singapore, probably worth a couple $1 billion. I was having a conversation with him, and he's like, you know what the biggest issue is between the elite and people that make no money? I'm like, what? Financial literacy. He said most people are financially illiterate, and it's a language. And what do you mean self-improvement? She's like, yes, finance is the language of the elite. Self-education will never betray you. Self-education will never betray you. You have to sit down. You don't like to read books. Nobody gives a the marketplace doesn't care.
In order for us to change a belief or perception about ourselves and our lives, we have to make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that's greater than the hardwired programs in your brain and the emotional conditioning in your body. And your body literally has to respond to your mind. Examine your personality and examine your personal reality. Change your personality, change your personal reality. Don't make it be about abundance. Make it about becoming abundant by overcoming the person who's not abundant.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
A winner never quits, and a quitter never wins. Definiteness of purpose. By now you should know what you want most from life, and you should have a plan for getting it. Going the extra mile. This is a must if your major purpose is anything above mediocrity.
Wake up every day. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want your dream? It's so much easier to forget that vision than to remember it, right? So if you're going to remember it, you got to keep it alive in your mind. How do you keep it alive in your mind? You disconnect from your environment. You close your eyes. You play music in the background. Don't be thinking about what's going to happen in your day. You already know what's going to happen. Don't think what happened yesterday. You already know that. Get in the present moment and say, who do I want to be when I open my eyes? Who do I want to be today? What would greatness look like? How would one day, one shot, one lifetime, what would an abundant person do?
Don't let losers and brokies sit and say to you, oh, all our graves are the same, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. You were not born to suffer and die without being remembered or leaving a mark on this planet. You weren't born for that. You were born to do something great and to be remembered. You were born to leave offspring, which are so fantastic, raised in your image, that you, by proxy, are discussed into eternity. Your bloodline becomes synonymous with competence and capability. That's why you were born.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
When you are starting out, I think you got to find the thing that's the pain. And like, pain motivates significantly faster and stronger than pleasure does. Like, people are like, no, passion's the right way. It's like, point a gun at a family member, all of a sudden, 10 out of 10 motivation. Pain. And so like, I think people should use their pain more.
What matters is, at some point, you have to identify what you want to do, and you've got to become the best in the world at that, period.
And so you say in your life, well, something grips you and fills you with interest. And you think, well, should I do that? And the answer is, if not that, then something. What if it's a mistake? It's a mistake. Rest assured. What do you know? You're going to stumble around, right? And what's going to happen is this. You're going to not stay in stasis. You're not going to wander around in circles. And I see people like that. They said, well, I never knew what to do, and now I'm 40. It's like, that's not so good. That's not so good. And you might say, well, and there is a literature too that suggests that people are a lot more unhappy when they look back in their lives about the things they didn't do than they are about the mistakes they made while they were doing things.
We have these idealized versions of purpose that I think Instagram and all this stuff kind of make terrible. But like, I think there's a lot of honor in work, period. And I think a lot of people fool themselves by thinking that what they do for some reason is not honorable.
If you're building the muscle either way. You're either building the muscle that says, I do what I say, I keep the commitments that I make, or you're building the muscle that says, I make excuses. I don't do what I say. I can't be counted on, right? And so when we think about discipline, it's really about like, what promises are you going to keep? And the tricky thing is you're keeping promises to yourself that nobody even knows that you made, right? It's not like, hey, you made this commitment. If I don't write this book by this time, like, you know, I have to do this embarrassing thing, or, you know, then I'll retire. You know, they're not even, you're not really putting your ass on the line in that sense. But you said to yourself, you're going to do this thing, and building that muscle is really important. I mean,
sometimes you have to let other people's dreams for your life die for yours to live. And for me, it was like when I continued to every day not want to wake up, that was my wake up call, where I was like, either I continue to live this way and not want to be alive, or I just risk the fact that I'll die to everybody else. And I think that like, it was the hardest decision of my entire life, by far. All the hard stuff we went through, still the hardest decision of my life.
Is your foundation and your fundamental principles so strong that if this thing was to go away, could you still create happiness and success all over again? If your foundation and principles are extremely strong, no matter what endeavor it is, you look at the most successful people in business and everything else, they've gone to do multiple things that have allowed them to create different levels of happiness within that confined circle. You know, Michael had basketball. Then he had the shoe brand. Now he's got other endeavors. He's involved in, you know, a lot of philanthropy things. The competitive nature doesn't stop, and everybody thinks you can only be happy with one certain aspect in your life. You can create happiness in multiple things in your life, and if it gets to the point where it is burning you out, that means it's time for that you are no longer obsessed with that thing anymore, and it's time for you to become obsessed with something else.
So my obsession became that humans are the ultimate adaptation machine. We are literally wired from the ground up in order to grow and improve under stress and pressure. So it's like, what's the phrase? Pressure can burst pipes, but it also creates diamonds. Yes. So it's like, you need the pressure. And yes, it can hurt, but it can also make something amazing if you're willing to put yourself in that situation. So it's a weird twist of fate that humans, in order to build the muscle, you first have to tear it, right?
Yes.
So, but once you accept that that's how it works, you can do extraordinary things.
The satirical and the ironic and the troublemaker, the comedian, the fool. The fool is the precursor to the savior. Why? Because you're a fool when you start something new. And so if you're not willing to be a fool, then you'll never start anything new. And if you never start anything new, then you won't develop. And so the willingness to be a fool is the precursor to transformation. And that's the same as humility. And so if you're going to write your destiny, you can do a bad first job. You're going to get smarter as you move forward.
They really want what they want, and they really end up getting what they want because they have to have it. They're obsessed about it. And anytime they're obsessed about it, they start figuring out creative ways to get what they want. If it's a girl, if it's a business, if it's a position, if it's a certain success, if it's accolades, if it's a certain place they want to be, if it's a certain lifestyle they want, they're going to figure out a way to get it because they're obsessive. They have to have it. They're just wired that way.
I was saying what I said earlier about, like, I believe these things to be true about the universe or like the world. But a lot of those are like, what do I believe about myself? Which is like, I can choose to do work in this way, which then I can derive joy from. So like, if I'm shoveling shit, I can choose to be like, I will be the best shit shoveler because I believe that I will figure out how to do this more efficiently, and I will get better, and I'll have calluses on my hands, and I'll have a better back and whatever. But I will do this well. And I think you can find joy in work if you decide to do it.
Going back to the only belief that matters, you said it. It's the way you act is ultimately all that matters, and the way you act follows what you allow yourself to believe. Maybe a better way to say it is what you choose to believe. Mm-hmm. So if you choose to believe that your energy and efforts will result in more skill set, then you will actually put energy and effort into getting that, which means you actually will get the skill set. But if you think, well, my talent and intelligence are fixed, so no matter how much I work, I'm never going to get better, right? If you don't think that putting time and energy into it will yield anything, then you won't put time and energy into it, and you thusly won't get the skills. So, and if you don't have the skills, then you can't do the things other people can do, and so people just get stuck because they don't have the only belief that matters. So they don't put the time and energy. And so that's like where everything starts is, are you putting the time and energy into getting better, yes or no?
It's time to stay focused. It's time to decide clubs, partying, trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you not clubbing like every time I text you and invite you to go do something fun and cool, you always studying? Because I'm trying to get it.
I'm just thinking how funny it is where I'm going to be tomorrow morning and my competition still drinking down their fears and they're, trying to escape their current reality, Friday night party. So they're gonna go out there and party it up and everything else to find some relief to the stressful life they live in. That's a temporary relief. I'm working tonight for a permanent relief. That's why I laugh. I laugh at how much further I'm getting ahead of it.
Mental toughness isn't something that you sample. It's something that you live in every day. So when something hard would happen to these kids, like in Hell Week, it would draw on something that made them very insecure, and they look for comfort. Whenever hardness comes, and you don't know what it is, it may be different for you than it is for me, but you go back to your insecurities. And then when you go back to your insecurities, you then look for comfort within those insecurities. And we all look for that cookie that your mom used to give you when you were sad, when you were sick. We look for our wife or our husband. We look for comfort. It's in those moments you must retrain your mind to think differently.
What if I told you this was the last Monday morning of your life? How do you stay driven? I'm gonna ask you a question. How don't you stay driven? Let me get this right. You won the lotto of the universe, which is you are a human being on Earth. And you're not driven, and you're not fired up, and you're not going for it, and you're willing to sit like a lump and just wait till you die? You suck.
It gets harder for anybody that's living and breathing. So no matter what you do, you gotta keep moving forward. Strong in the trenches.
You don't know where you're going. You're lost. You know what I mean? You have no direction. So for me, I felt like both of them together, when you have the vision and you're able to manifest, and you also put the work in, magic happens, man. Magic. That's where the magic is. But a lot of people never get there. Unfortunately, a lot of people we're blessed that we can dream.
Right? I got to get stronger. I got to train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I got to tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale and say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. That was it. Done.
Come on, where are your values behind the scenes? What do your habits look like behind the scenes? Come on, what kind of work are you putting in behind the scenes? Come on, drop down and give me 50. Come on, write it again. Come on, believe it again. Come on, sing again, record the song again. Come on, I'm talking to that athlete. I'm talking to that musician. Come on, who are you out there? When you are committed, you give everything you have. Every single day. You are either losing ground or gaining ground. The choice is yours. And this time, make it personal.
Attitude goes a long way. So again, going back to this guy here, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, passes away. 4 years has colon cancer, no one knows about it. He goes to the doctor. That means that this doesn't mean he's not taking care of his body. He's going to the doctor, but he doesn't advertise his pain. Sometimes it's just good not to advertise your pain. Sometimes it's good to not just tell the whole world what you're going through. I'm not telling you don't talk about it with a group of people. I'm not telling you have some private conversation with certain people. I do believe in the ability to have some kind of a form of a release. But the way people are doing it right now, posting everything on Instagram, all this other stuff, what's the point behind it? You need attention? Is that what you need? It's not necessarily mental toughness. Mental toughness people are not looking for attention. Mental toughness people are trying to get results. A big difference.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't F around, I don't party, I don't go out. Am I lame for that? Absolutely. To be lame in the eyes of somebody I would never want to be like is nothing but an absolute success. You see, it's only an uncertain person that needs company in what they do to feel like it's the right thing.
but real confidence stems from doing what's best for you, even if that means doing it alone. My biggest confidence comes from consistently pushing myself and leaving no gap between what needs to be done and what I do. On day 1962 in a row of running every morning, look who's out here with me. Not a soul. That's just fine.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no magic pill. And there are no 3 easy payments of $9.99. If you want something, if you want to be good at something, you want to accomplish something, you've got to put in the time. And the minimum amount of time that you can put in is an hour a day of dedicated practice for 6 straight months. If you want to be good at something, you've got to do it every day. Like, we look at people like LeBron James. Why is he good at basketball? Because he does it every day. You look at Wayne Gretzky in hockey. Why was Wayne so good in hockey, arguably the greatest of all time? Because he did it every day. And so my number one piece of advice to people, if you want to be good at something, whatever that thing that you desire is, whatever your passion is, do it every single day. That's the real secret to success.
Hustle is putting it all on the line. Hustle is waking up one day, the day before you die, and realizing you gave it your all into the parenting of your children, the building of your businesses, the philanthropy that you wanted to do. Whatever you define, it's just, all in.
Well, there's a difference between something missing and am I satisfied? Yeah. Right? Because I'm not satisfied. I mean, I always want to go. Like, I never get done with the end of the day and go, cool, mission accomplished. Like, it's like not even close. Yeah.
E.T., aren't you ready to take a break? Yes, I might be, but listen to me. I can't. Why? Because I grind for Jalen. I grind for Jada. I grind for Dee Dee. I grind for my mother. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? I grind for Vanessa. I hustle for. So the days I want to hit that alarm clock, I think about my why. I can't quit.
The Achilles were like the kiss of death. Yes. Athletes. Like, yes. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. There's so many factors. There's the surgery that has to take place. The surgery has to go well, right? And then it's a tendon. I'm not dealing with anything that's muscular or things that I can control. I can't control a tendon. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. It's a long process. But, like, when I went in the trainer's room, my kids are in there, and, they're looking at you and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, it's all right. Dad's going to be all right. Mm-hmm. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. As a parent, you got to set the example. You got to set the example. This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not going to cripple me. It's not going to be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm going to step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, you know what? I'm doing it. Doing it.
Champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank. That's the difference between the greats. That's what separates them. When they don't have no more, when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spent their last dime, that's when they get started. Are you hearing me? It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money, when all your energy gone, when you have nothing left, that's when it's showtime. When you find the way out of no way, when you find breath that you don't have, when you find energy that did not exist, when you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. All the homies texting and calling and trying to make you feel bad about being so focused. It's grind season, homie. It's not about today. It's about the future. You do the work now. Do the work now. And all of this that you could ever want to do for your family, your kids, your loved ones, it's all going to be on a whole nother stratosphere.
You got to take ownership of what's going on in your life. When you're not where you want to be and you say it's because the boss doesn't like you, or it's because the girl treated you this way, or the guy did this, like all those things, you got to take ownership of them. And if you're blaming all these other external things, you're not going to make any changes. And that's going to be a problem.
And that's the problem too. If you're chronically rejected by people, it's often because of your own insufficiencies. Whether that's cowardice or lack of social skills or whatever it is, it's like You can't just brush it off as, oh, well, you know, no one likes me, but really I'm okay. It's like, no, wrong. If everyone rejects you, there's probably something wrong, and it's probably deep and difficult, and it's going to be horrible to fix. And so this isn't a trivial problem. It's not a trivial problem at all.
Todd, I'm sorry, all right? I screwed up. I know I screwed up. I don't know
great,
why.
of course. Here it comes. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing shitty things and then feel bad about yourself like that makes it okay. You need to be better.
But yet you're fully committed to sabotaging yourself and your career. Then you're sitting back stressed out and depressed, wondering why. Why ain't things happening? That's the answer. I just gave it to you. It's about as real as it gets. The question is, what are you gonna do next week, 2 weeks from now? You're in your own way. You are the reason your career is not on the next level. Nobody else but you.
When you don't have a true appreciation and acceptance for who you are, and you allow yourself to be immobilized by fear, what happens in the process is that you begin to abuse yourself. You begin to sabotage your life, you begin to sabotage your dreams, you begin to unconsciously work against yourself. You become your own worst enemy. So what do you do about that? Well, you begin to realize that your dream and your gifts have so much meaning and so much value for you till your hunger for them will begin to push you past the fear. Your hunger to have them will give you a special drive.
You might be sitting there wondering if you're gonna wake up tomorrow and do the thing you said you would. But why on earth would you wonder? This thing you're so uncertain about is literally you. There's nothing in this world you have more control over than yourself. But if you decide to wake up every day, surrender that control to chance, I guess you'll be stuck wondering forever. This disconnect between you and you is unnecessary, though. The pattern of hoping you fulfill the role of a better you and disobeying that desire every time is completely in your hands. It is a recipe for no self-respect. So there's some certainty within yourself that needs to be built. That's not gonna happen by accident.
If you look in the mirror and you ask yourself, what do you have to do to be successful? I promise you, your heart will tell you.
Say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? You need to put yourself on punishment. You need to tell you no more TV, no more snacks, no more desserts, no, we working out now. No more alcohol, not right now. No, I can't handle it right now. You need to tell you that you owe you something.
This is you versus you.
Most of us, we live in a box. And we don't want to go outside that box at all, ever. Outside that box is all these possibilities of life. But what we do is we shackle our mind. We are a prisoner in our own mind that this is all I can do. This is all I'm good at. And we take away the possibilities of you can be this, you can be that, you can be all these things. And I never thought at 300 pounds I could be Nick Sick. Wow. So if my mind was shackled, me and you would never meet. There'd be no book. There'd be no book. There'd be nothing. So what people understand is that they live for themselves, not knowing that you have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life, by facing yourself.
If you're struggling, if you're frustrated with yourself, if you're at that point where you're so sick of yourself and your excuses, I've been there, Stephen's been there. This is a normal part of the human experience. And at some point, either the pain is going to get big enough or you're going to bump into somebody's story somewhere on this planet who has been in the position that you're in right now, facing the stuff that you're facing right now. And there is something about their story at this exact moment in time that will ignite something in you that is missing. And what is missing in you right now is hope.
If you set your own value by what you believe about yourself, if you think that you're worthless, if you're not very good at it, other people pick that up.
It doesn't matter what lifestyle you have. It doesn't matter what walk of life you have. No matter what you do, if you allow excuses to tell you what to do, then ultimately the excuses have more control of you than what you have of yourself. So get up, work hard, put some effort into what you want out of life, because all you have is you. All you have is what you have inside. Don't wait for somebody to tell you what to do. You know what you need to do. Get out there and get it done, because that's ultimately what it's going to take. You have to have the courage, the will, and everything you have inside to get to the level and beyond the level you want to be. Life does not stop until they put you in the ground, my friend.
Strong mind is a catalyst for change. When you see the best athletes in the world either perform really well or, on the other hand, completely bomb out, it's because of that muscle that lives between the ears.
It's interesting to me that the comfortable route is seen as the safest path, but the undeniable disappointment that comes from giving up the ideals of the true self doesn't seem so safe to me. Don't indulge in the comfort that comes before effort, because that comfort is nothing but a lie.
So what kinds of things, what kinds of thoughts are you feeding your consciousness? What kind of things are you putting in your mind that will enable you to either move forward or to justify why you're staying where you are?
What really breaks my heart is how stuck people are. And that there are things you can do to change your life for the better. And if you don't have hope, and you don't have this breakthrough where you have for just a millisecond this insight where you go, well, what if things did work out? If you don't have that moment, most people stay so stuck in resignation.
So it's time to come face to face with pain. Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, how much more can you take? Because what hurt you, what tried to cripple you and kill you only made you stronger.
You have the capacity to whatever comes up, to handle it, to face it. And rather than feeling powerless, you begin to feel powerful.
My content creators, my entrepreneurs, my musicians, come on, my keynote speakers, my captains of industries, my CEOs, from the captain to the cashier, there is more in you. Stay-at-home father, stay-at-home mother, lawyer, doctor, hygienist, author. I don't know who you are, where you're from, but there's more in you. You may be hurting, maybe dying on the inside, but you still got life left.
Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. I pray that you all put your shoes way under the bed at night so that you got to get on your knees in the morning.
What is the most important question for entrepreneurs that are listening to this conversation now? Based on everything that you know and have done, that will help them that I didn't ask.
I think they should really ask themselves if they love what they're doing. And if they really love what they're doing, that will be the fuel that will carry them the whole way. But there are so many people who are trapped building businesses or, in jobs that don't really love what they do, who haven't found how to use their special gifts in a way that applies to the business world. And I think so much of life is trying to figure out, what is that thing that I can do that I just love that brings out the best in me and my talents. And I think not giving up in pursuing that is just so important.
Really liking what you do, whatever area that you get into, given that, even if you're the best, there's always a chance of failure. So I think it's important that you really like whatever you're doing. If you don't like it, life is too short. If you like what you're doing, you think about it even when you're not working. I mean, it's something that your mind is drawn to. And if you don't like it, you just really can't make it work, I think.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. This is what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success.
When you're building a company and building a product, skill matters. Intellect matters. Training matters. But it's not enough. The part of it that is important to realize about building companies is that it's a challenging and painful and oftentimes extraordinarily scary thing to do. And so unless you have passion, unless you really love the process of building the company and what you're trying to do, it's going to be incredibly, incredibly challenging. And so what I would leave you with is when you're building a company, if you decide to build a company, you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose that you're building the company for? Is it that you would like to build a company so that you can sell it, make a fortune? Is it that you would like to build a company so you can take it public? You're just a serial entrepreneur. You want to build something, let somebody else run it, build something, sell it. Whatever your reason is, be honest to yourself. It turns out that in my case, I just love the process of building things, and I love being part of something. You know, being part of NVIDIA and being part of a people and being part of a cause that is that's inspiring to me, it keeps me vibrant, and it's something that I'm willing to do for a very long period of time.
You see, the greatest motivational principle in the world, is that people do what people see. And too many travel agents, they're like, or too many leaders are like travel agents. They're sending people where they've never been themselves. And you want to be a tour guide. You want to take people with you. You want to say, this is the area where I've been, this is where I live, this is the area where I lead, come along and follow me. And at level number 3, your leadership begins to gain credibility because now you are fleshing out for the people around you and you are modeling for them things that they want to see, and you are starting to produce.
You know, Don Shula, the coach of the old Miami Dolphins, he said it's the start that stops most people. And he's right. It is the start that stops most people. They're always going to get ready, to get set, to get going. Well, we've got to do it, boom, just like that, move into action. See, if you don't get started, you're never going to get finished. How do we do that? Start early. I believe when you wake up, you should get up. The second you wake up, get your feet hit the floor, move into action. And you know, you'd be wise if you sit down at night before you go to bed and write down 6 goal-achieving activities. Now, that isn't go to the store, or go to the bank, or get to cleaning. It's not that. These are goal-achieving activities. Write down 6 of them. And when you wake up in the morning, you move into action. You know where you're going to go. You don't even have to think about it. Step into action and get on the first one. When you get it done, forget it and go to the second one. Don't think about the first one. Focus on 2. Don't even think about 3. When you get 2 done, go to 3. But knock them off one at a time. If you don't get them all done, just move them over on to the next day. And that doesn't mean if you only get 3 done that you have 9 the next day. There are 3 of the 6 that you're going to do the next day. 6 goal-achieving activities. And when you wake up in the morning, move into action on them. Quit holding yourself back. Don't wait and say, well, I really don't know how I'm going to get started, and the way will show itself. It just appears. I have found when you get started, when you move into action, everything starts to happen around you.
If we're not creative enough, if we don't push it hard enough, we've got to have some failures. And so we don't really want to have all hits. And clearly, God, the first ones are hits. But, the sign that you're right at the edge of chaos, the edge of creativity, is that some stuff doesn't work.
And why do you want to be there? Because networks don't want to be there.
Life's short. I mean, why are we doing this? We're like, we want to have a difference, right? And so it's innate. It's wanting to push the edge, to create something that people are proud of and that they enjoy.
Have you ever heard a motivational speaker tell you that attitude is everything? I'll bet you have. I've heard many say that. In fact, they'll say something like, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And that never quite rang true with me. So I began to press the issue, and I have come to the conclusion that attitude isn't everything. Now, I'm not disclaiming or in any way being disparaging about attitude, because I think attitude is very important. But if anybody comes up to you and tells you that attitude is everything, I don't buy into that. That's not true. For example, attitude can't replace incompetence. If you're incompetent, you can be very happy, but you can still be very unsuccessful. Now, here's what I do know. Attitude isn't everything, but attitude is the main thing that'll make a difference in your life. And because I believe that, I wrote the book, The Difference Maker. You see, that's what attitude is. Attitude is the difference maker. You have 2 people side by side that you're thinking about employing in your company. Both of them have the same background, same job description, education, experience. I mean, you could almost flip a coin and say, I could hire the one on the right, or I could hire the one on the left. But one has a great attitude and one has a bad attitude. Now, who are you going to hire? You're going to hire the person with a great attitude. Why? Because it was the difference maker.
The one thing I'm the most happy about in terms of my career is the fact that I got there with the grace of God, first of all, but short of that, I got there just by working hard, not partying with the right people, not compromising myself in any way or cutting any kind of deals, just by working hard, just by plugging along, sawing wood, as I like to call it. I'm a 20-year overnight sensation.
I always believed that you need to understand the reason why your business work. What is the essence of your business? What makes it work? Now, the foundation of my business, at its core, is semiconductor technology. Here in Silicon Valley, we usually like to refer to semiconductor technology as Moore's Law. Moore's Law is not so much a physical law as it's a law of competition. It is a law of challenging engineers. It's a law almost of setting pace. And Moore's Law approximately gives you twice the performance every year or 2. And so understanding the fundamental ingredient of our business improves by a factor of 2 every year. And simultaneously reduces in cost by a factor of 2 every year.
Most people don't use their imagination constructively. Most people use their imagination destructively. They imagine what they don't want. We've got to consciously and deliberately imagine what we do want. If we will take and sit down with a pen and ask ourselves, what do I really want? What do I really want? and write it down. And then make a written description of it in the present tense. Writing causes thinking. Thinking creates an image. And you get these images going, you're building a vision in your mind. It's the visionaries that's changed the world. Think of that. The fact that I can sit and look into this camera, and you can sit and look at me on your phone, or on your TV, or on your laptop. That was the result of somebody's vision. Do you know everything you've got, the clothes you wear, the house you live in, this microphone that's in front of me, it was all the result of somebody's vision. It's not an accident. You and I have a marvelous imagination. And everything starts with a vision. Van Gogh was asked how he did such beautiful work. He said, first I dream my painting, and then I paint my dream.
My wife told me this great expression: to get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
You have to be authentic. I mean, you've got no hope if you try to pretend to be Reed Hastings or Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or whoever you want to think your CEOs are that you've met. You know, that is crazy. And you got to really get comfortable with yourself, your strengths and weaknesses. People are inspired by authenticity, and I'm just surprised how many people feel like they're acting or try to act. And you may be a really quiet person, and that's fine. But if you have that fierce will, that desire for the institution, the company to be great, and your own role in that is secondary, and you authentically express that in whatever ways you do, then you'll be greatly accepted. Okay, and so that's all it takes, is to be authentic and not try to be something else, and to fundamentally care at your core about what's good for the company. And if everybody knows and you act in the notion of what's good, as best as your judgment can tell, what's good for the company, they will see that, and people will follow you, and they won't be cynical. It's when you hide things, it's when you pretend.
Going against the tide is great if it works. Now, it doesn't always work, and you really have to be smart to go against the tide, because you're going against a lot of smart people. But when you get it right, you'll end up better, whether it's Microsoft or Google. I mean, so many people that have really hit big have gone against the tide. But you have to have great confidence in yourself. You have to be the right person. There are very few people that can pull it off, but when you pull it off, it's great. Same thing in real estate. You go against the tide. People are selling, you're buying, the tide changes.
You don't pay a lot of attention to reviews and those kind of things?
Well, you know, you're always affected by opinion, but the more opinions there are of you, of me, the less I look at them, because I just can't live my life based upon what other people think about me. So I can't concern myself too much with what other people think. You know, it's just not healthy. I don't think I could continue to do what I do if I was constantly worrying about what somebody thought about it.
What is something that you believe today that 40-year-old Jensen would have pushed back on and said, no, I disagree?
There's plenty of time. Yeah, there's plenty of time. If you prioritize yourself properly, and you make sure that you don't let Outlook be the controller of your time, there's plenty of time.
Plenty of time in the day, plenty of time
to do anything,
to achieve things,
like to get this done. Just don't do everything. Prioritize your life. Make sacrifices. Don't let Outlook control what you do every day. Notice I was late to our meeting, and the reason for that, by the time I looked up, oh my gosh, you know, Ben and Dave are waiting, you know, it's already.
We got time.
Yeah, exactly. That's
didn't stop this from being a great chat.
No, but you have to prioritize your time really carefully, and don't let Outlook that determine that.
I have in my travels occasionally met promising young people who insist they are not going to ask for help along the way. They want to figure it out themselves. Mine was the opposite approach. It is hard enough out there. Get all the help you can. Getting help really is just a part of a lifelong search for wisdom.
I know you've brought up Bobby a couple of times, and considering that Samir and I have worked closely together for 13 years, I'm curious, what is it about your relationship with Bobby that has allowed you guys to work well, to work efficiently, to get through problems together after all these years?
What a great, sometimes you just click with people, and that really happened for me and Bobby. I think we both have very different perspectives. We had different strengths, but man, if I can get, words of wisdom from Bobby or his advice, there's almost nothing more valuable, to me. So I think the way that he thinks, his creativity, it just kind of complements mine. And I think we're able to just feed each other in terms of how we think about growing the business or evolving the product or investing in some crazy new, technology or something like that. And we just love working together. I mean, that was the big takeaway from Future Freshmen. It was a total disaster, but we were like, man, this is so fun. This is awesome. And I think that learning that wow, okay, we found something we love doing. We love working together. That's been kind of the cornerstone of the whole thing.
Most important thing is you have to, there's two sides. There's really sort of the intellectual or mental side. You have to pick a business that has a niche. You have to have a reason to succeed. You have to be something like we were doing, say, Japan can beat Germany in manufacturing of this type of a product. That was the niche, really. And then on that, you just have to have a total and complete passion, because there's going to be so many dark moments. I think the dark moments are true for any entrepreneur or any startup company. I'm sure that you talk to Steve Jobs and Apple, you'd see many, many dark moments. Ours happen to last a little longer than most of them, but you really emotionally have to be prepared for those dark moments.
I think every entrepreneur I've ever spoken to would echo that.
Yeah.
That there are dark moments when everything's on the line.
That's the life of an entrepreneur. And so you're going to be into it, you better be prepared for that.
All over the world. I mean, all over Asia, China, South America, North America, Europe. And I'm always asking people, what do you really want? And I have found most people don't want to be really wealthy. What they do want is they don't want to have any financial concerns. If they want to buy a new suit, they can go and get one. If they want to take a trip, they can take the trip. If they want a new car, they can get the new car. They don't want to just run out and spend or buy. They don't want to have any financial concerns. 2, they want to wake up in the morning excited about how they're going to spend their day. And the 3rd, they want to mix with people who are upbeat and creatively productive. These are the 3 things that people really want. So in answer to your question, if somebody's watching, what's the first thing they should do? Well, the first thing they should do is understand why we have goals. Not just to set a goal, because most people don't set goals right. They're operating with a limited level of consciousness, so they're thinking, if I could get a little more money, and if I could get him to help me and her to help me, and this happened, then I could do this. Maybe this is get a new car. What we've got to understand is we're trading our life for our goals. Literally trading our life. Would you trade your life for a car or a house? I don't think so.
Usually in companies, there's a notion of a hierarchy, a set of objectives, a quarterly plan, and so forth. We had none of that. Our theory was that the leadership, in particular the bottoms-up leadership, really should be empowered by what we were doing, and we'd see how far they get. We didn't have an 18-month strategy. We just kept iterating. So what I learned from this is that fast iteration is the key. The most important thing to do is every week, a new product, a new idea, just keep pushing. You'd be amazed how much progress you make in 3 months or 6 months.
You have to have a vision. This vision has to be based on understanding about the dynamics of the market globally. And then you have to pursue this vision. No matter what, you have to build motivation inside your company. This is easy because we're saying, okay, we want to be leader in a technology that is meaningful for the consumer. And all the Nissan people, all the Renault people are buying into it. Then we need to come to the consumer and tell him, tell the consumer, that's a great product which is affordable, and on top of this is going to allow you to drive without the guilt of the melting of the icebergs and the change of the seasons and the temperature, etc. And I think it's going to be very powerful. But again, before it starts, there is always a doubt. And now we are in the period of time where a lot of people are throwing at you a lot of stones by saying that's not going to work. And then you have a lot of comments from competitors saying, you're too much bullish, it's not going to work. Well, obviously, what do you want competitors to say? He's in the right direction? I'll say, okay, he's in the right direction. And what is your car? Well, I have no electric car. So what's the situation?
In areas of choice, you need to work on your weaknesses. For example, let's say I'm lazy. That's an area of choice. I'm not naturally lazy. I'm just lazy. It's a choice. So I need to work on that because in areas of choices, you can make vast improvement and you can make fast improvement.
I've never heard this distinction, by the way.
Yeah.
Hugely helpful.
Oh yeah, in choices. So attitude. Let's say I have a lousy attitude. One day I wake up and I say, this isn't getting me anywhere. I gotta have a good attitude. You can go from a 0 to a 10. I mean, almost over. You see people that you just say, my gosh, overnight they just got good and happy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's a choice. Vast, fast growth in choices. In giftedness, DNA, wiring, your growth is very, very small and it's very slow. So I think, for example, a person can maybe increase their giftedness skill set maybe 2 numbers.
Wow.
So if I'm a little bit above average, I'm a 6. If I really work hard, I can become an 8. But an 8 is powerful.
Yeah.
8 has a huge return. So what I tell people is in areas of giftedness, that's where you have to work on your strengths. If I'm a 2 in something, I'm very weak in a skill. If I worked hard, I could only become a 4. I'd still be below average. And so what I tell people is, you got to ask yourself, is it going to give me the return? So in the area of strengths, you got to pour yourself into the things that you're already good at, because that'll really set you apart from average.
Yeah.
But in areas of choices, go for those weaknesses, because you and I don't you know people that are highly skilled but they have a lousy attitude, or they're not self-disciplined, and they're never going to get anywhere, and they're not going to get anywhere because they didn't. So in areas of choices, work on your weaknesses, but in areas of strengths and skills, just work on your strengths.
I would say I've always believed that a strong mission statement's really important, and I have to say we've never succeeded at it. It's like this odd thing. We've had them every year for 15 years, and they're constantly different, and now we're also cynical. We're like, come on, we're trying to make people happy. I mean, that's the fundamental thing is in consumer service. We're trying to be better, and us in Disney and Mission aren't that different. There's a bunch of different tactics at it, but we're an emotional product. We cater to the things that are important but not necessary, and I love that part about it, because like when you're selling milk or penicillin, you're selling something somebody needs, and we get to sell something you want, okay, that you choose to do because it's really cool. It's human. To be entertained and to connect to people over entertainment. And so we celebrate that a lot, and we want to change the industry. But in terms of like a mission statement, like so many companies have, Facebook talks about a more connected and open world. And then you see that phrase again and again and again, and it's a powerful mantra. We don't have an equivalent. And I think we probably would have been stronger if we do. In the early days, it was to connect people with movies they'll love. And it's okay, but it's kind of like the long, kind of awkward phrase, connect people with movies they'll love. And, it's just not punchy. And then so like we used it, we had t-shirts, and then it didn't really motivate anyone, didn't really stick. But we knew we were trying to make people happy with DVDs, and then eventually with streaming and original content. So it didn't hold us back much.
Growing up in India, like many of you, I got my first telephone when I was 12. In my case, it turned out to be a rotary phone. So it wasn't that great for selfies, but I still loved to call my friends, play with it, and sometimes take it apart. That telephone cemented my fascination with technology. I remember in my parents' house in Chennai, reading about the invention of the transistor at Bell Labs. Of course, that initial invention helped found what became known as Silicon Valley, And out of that came companies like Fairchild Semiconductor and Intel and all the computers and software that we all use today. You can draw a direct line from that invention to the technology that powers your Twitter feed or your WeChat messages today. I remember reading about that and thinking, it's the idea that matters. It didn't matter where you come from or what your background is. One revolutionary idea, one brilliant invention can unleash other entrepreneurs to revolutionize industries in ways you could never predict.
If you were talking to a young entrepreneur today, what would you say about how a great team gets put together, about the role of a CEO in supporting, shaping, interacting with that team?
Yeah, a man's life and death. I think even today, as big as Nike is with over 60,000 employees, the key thing is people. And so when you're starting out, obviously getting the right people that's life and death. And then not only the right people, but getting them to work together and work for a common purpose. I've always said 2 9s working together will beat 2 10s working apart any day.
And how do you do that?
Well, pick the right people is number one, and then giving them the environment and maybe a little bit of leadership that allows them to keep doing that.
And the environment for good, for the ability to get different people to work together. I'm looking for sort of how you would articulate what is that thing you put in the environment?
Well, now you're getting into management, and there's all kinds of different management styles that and you have to kind of recognize that each person is an individual. So there's, but I always liked Sparky Anderson, the manager of the Cincinnati Reds. He says, do you treat all players the same? Hell no. He says, if Johnny Bench wants a day off, he gets it off. Or a rookie wants a day off, I said, get your ass out on the field. And I think that's a good management principle by itself.
Someone who's pitching you, what don't you want to hear? Everyone asks what you do. What don't you want to hear?
I want to hear that everybody is focused on this new architecture, and anybody who's coming in with plans based on the earlier architectures, you're not going to make it. You need to be on scalable plans that solve real problems. It's so easy to solve a local problem. You need to dream bigger. Over and over again, we hear ideas that are interesting in a local context, but they're not big enough. So dream bigger, right? As a general statement about society, we need to ask the harder questions, and we need to ask for stronger solutions. There is a global emerging consensus around issues and so forth. Together, we're very strong.
So going on perhaps a decade of running simultaneously two global companies, how do you get the stamina to keep going and to stay fit, personally and mentally and physically?
Well, somebody said with little discipline, you do little things. With a lot of discipline, you do a lot of things. And with total discipline, there is nothing which you cannot do. It requires a lot of discipline. I mean, obviously, because you're going to move from one world to the other, from one culture to the other, from two completely different companies. You have jet lags, organization. People are expecting you when you come down from a plane after 14 hours flight to be fresh and ready for them. But they're not expecting a CEO to come and say, oh my God, he's jet lag, he cannot answer a question. They want you to be on the go all the time. So this requires a lot of discipline. You have to organize yourself. If you know you're going to do this job and you accept the job, you have to organize yourself in order to do it. It's tough, but there is a solution. There is a solution for it. But it requires a lot of choices, personal choices. There are a lot of things you cannot do. There are a lot of things you can do, but you're going to do them within a certain order, but particularly with a lot of discipline.
Brands are, one of the most interesting parts of business. But I mean, basically a brand stands for something. It creates an emotion in a person's mind, either positive or negative, that brings out all kinds of reactions to that brand. And when we got to start our own brand and have our own name, we were very ambitious in some of the things that we wanted it to stand for. But I mean, as you stop and think about brands around the world, Sony and Coca-Cola and Rolls-Royce, where they all stand for very different things, but they all create an emotional response and something that's really strong and powerful.
Are you going to be able to make products who are hits? Okay, first question. After 1-2 years, we started to renew the product lineup. We had some hits. Some of them are major. How do you know you have a hit? It's not the media writing about it. Is how much profit are you making from this car? That's the way you know you have a hit. The 350Z is a hit. The Murano is a hit. These are some of the most profitable cars we have ever had. That's the way. That means it's not only that the media is saying this is a great car and people are buying it. Because you can have a great car, people buying it, and not make one nickel on it. It doesn't mean that it's a hit. Well, the real hit is the product has to be successful, but at the same time you need to sell as much as you think your potential is, and make money out of it. That's the real demonstration of it.
The thing which attracted me to Google and to internet in general is that it's a great equalizer, right? And so to me, I've always been struck by the fact that Google search worked the same if, as long as you had access to computer with connectivity, if you were a rural kid anywhere, or if you were a professor at Stanford or Harvard. And to me, I want Google to strive to push to do that, not just build technology for a certain segments, right? For me, it matters that, we drive technology as an equalizing force, as an enabler to everyone around the world.
The people you hire define the culture, whether you like it or not. So Larry and Sergey, when they started the company, said, we need to have really smart people. So they hired a rocket scientist, and they hired a medical doctor, and they hired a Stanford graduate who had been a professional football player, because they figured that they wanted normal people who had done something exceptional. So in my case, I was a pilot, and I had done other things, and they said, okay, you're good enough. The CEO has to have something besides being a CEO that makes them interesting. And everyone had something. And I would go around and I'd say, well, what's special about you? It's like Sesame Street, what's special about you? And what's special about you? But there was always an interesting story. So another lesson I learned is that you don't hire generic people. You hire people who've had some kind of stress or achievement or whatever. The best people to hire, by the way, are CFOs who've gone bankrupt. Because boy, have they been through the war. And on the CFO side and the finance side, you want somebody who's not going to happen again. And you only go bankrupt once, by the way.
Your first book, The Art of the Deal, begins with a simple sentence that many people might find hard to understand. You say, I don't do it for the money. Can you explain that?
Well, I do it because I love it. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. I have bad days, I have good days, I have days somewhere in the middle. But the end result is I love what I'm doing, and I don't do it for the money. And I make money because probably I'm not doing it for the money. I do it, and I do it well. I'm the biggest developer in New York. I love building buildings. I have a lot of fun building buildings. The fact is, I do it for fun. I do it for game. I do it for sport. I happen to make a lot of money doing it. If I didn't enjoy it, if I didn't really love what I'm doing, I wouldn't be successful. I wouldn't be sitting with you today.
And what's the implication of that for someone watching this who wants to create greater wealth? What's the message in that, do you think?
Well, the message is you have to love what you do. If you do it for the money alone, it's probably not going to work. I have friends where I tell them, get out of this business, which is a good business, and go into another business, which isn't as good a business, because they like the other business better. They'll do better in a less good business, so to speak, than they will in the better business because they like it. Never, ever give up. Just keep going forward. Never stop. It may seem like you have no chance. It may seem like it's over. Never, ever quit. If you're a quitter, I hope you quit right now and stop watching immediately, because you'll never make it.
Enjoy the journey, not the destination. A lot of us delay our happiness. When I get to this level, when I get my degree, when I get the kids, when I get married, I'm going to be happy. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the whole step, the whole process. Every day that you get up to strive for whatever it is you're after. I'm a goal-oriented guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't celebrate when you get to the finish line. Celebrate all along the way. Celebrate all along the way.
Yeah, man.
I don't agree that you should narrow your focus. What I believe is that you get the best outcome when you make the broadest appeal in terms of leadership and excitement and so forth. And we worked very hard to make that happen. But there were other things. For example, we would refuse to do exclusive deals with people, but I would explain to people, well, we don't really do exclusive deals, but we only have the capacity to work with one, and it's going to be you, right? So that there are other ways of achieving those kinds of things. So I'd be careful to conclude that you should do a small thing. All success starts from doing one thing really, really well, but you'll recruit better with a broader vision that's credible and that you can articulate. But go back to that selling the dream, right? What you do is selling a dream. If you can't sell the dream, then you're not going to be successful.
From a perspective, and I think it's true for in technology in particular, the world keeps changing, as I said earlier. So, big part of what I focus on at any given time is, making sure we are innovating and building products for the future. It's just got to be a normal course of how you think. And so, we are constantly thinking about what to do next. So, Android is very popular. People are using smartphones. But, I always sit and think about what is the next version of how people use computing, right? And so we are thinking about, things like virtual reality or augmented reality. So these are all new areas, but we are constantly thinking about it. And so you have to do that on a constant basis to push forward.
I think most people are confused about money. Most people don't have a healthy relationship with money. There are the people who think that money is everything, that money is the only important thing in the world and you need to chase it down and it's your duty and responsibility and obligations. Like, it's number one. The person walking into my house or my place of business, that's my next suit, that's my next payment, that's my next whatever. It's only focused on money. And there's other people who think money is the root of all evil and that money is a bad thing. Money is a tool. Money helps you get a lot of things done. Money helps you go places. Money helps you accomplish your mission. Money needs to be in your top 5. It's just not number 1. Money needs to be in your top 5. If money does not become important at some point to you, if it's not in your top 5 priorities, you'll never make money and you'll always be by yourself, struggling, trying to figure out how to make something work. But it's not number 1 either. If you put money above all else, you'll end up doing a lot of work that you hate and you never get good at it just because you're chasing opportunities. This is a big reason why so many entrepreneurs fail. You're just chasing the hottest thing for this year that you don't have a passion or interest in, and then you lose because the people who love that destroy you. When I first started doing this, helping entrepreneurs, I never thought I was going to make money. My first speaking gig, my first option to help people, was in Canada, in my hometown of Toronto, was at a YMCA. It was a free event. They had an entrepreneurship program. They asked me to come and speak to their members. It was free. I wasn't getting paid to do it, just wanted to help out. I just sold my business. I wanted to give back. I was saying yes to everything. I actually didn't even know what I wanted to do next. And so I show up, and it's this big room full of chairs, and only 3 people show up to that first event. Only 3 people.
And other people to do. You're lucky in life when you find it, and you can't guarantee you're going to find it in your first job out. But I always tell college students that come on, I say, take the job that you would take if you were in.
Happier if you've got 2X instead of X. You're probably making a mistake. I mean, you ought to find something you like that works with that, and you'll get in trouble if you think that making 10X or 20X is the answer to everything in life, because then you will do things like borrow money when you shouldn't, or maybe cut corners on things that your employer wants you to cut corners on. Or it just doesn't make integrity, intelligence, and energy. And he said if the person didn't have the first 2, that the latter 2 would kill them. Because if they don't have integrity, you want them dumb and lazy. You don't want them smart and energetic.
It never bothered me if people disagreed with what I thought, as long as I felt I knew the facts. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things I don't know a thing about. I just stay away from those. So I stay within what I call my circle of competence. Tom Watson said it best. He said, and I just don't have a problem if somebody says, you're wrong on something. I go back and look at the facts and a few points of IQ or having an extra course or 2 in school or anything of the sort. You need emotional stability.
My dad is a 100% default cynic. My mom is a 100 both of their eyes. And so I understand. So I'm to be honest, I'm grateful that I skew more towards optimism. It's what entrepreneur does unless you're delusional and optimistic, right? But I was so grateful that I got into my dad's sphere of cynicism, right? Because what it did was it allowed me amazing. I think I'm crazy practical. It's why for 25 years I built businesses, never borrowed money, never lost money. Like, I'm always practical. So, and I think that's a kissing cousin sometimes to cynicism. And I think, I have a friend who's like, I'm cynical. I'm like, you're practical. You've got a little hint of cynicism. And I think, I'm optimistic, but I'm not delusional.
Depending on how well you want to do, particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. Starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA. Everybody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100. You'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company.
We are not a company that normally China call it. We call ourselves a company that's running a platform, a company that is running an ecosystem. we are almost everywhere. People say, Jack, you are in the B2B and B2C and you're calling C2B. Not because we're greedy, not because we want to do it, because we have to do it. If we do not do it, China e-commerce in the years will collapse. I remember 9 years ago when I started at Alipay, people say, Jack, don't touch the financing sector because it's illegal, you may be in prison. And we taught ourselves if we don't do it, the China e-commerce will always like a chat room. Everybody say, it's a good thing and I don't pay, you don't get the things. So I say, well, put me in the prison. Let's make sure that Alipay, the payment solution works. And people say the payment solution is such a stupid idea. It's an escrow service. I pay you, hold the money, and you get the things. You pay the money. If you don't get the things you want, return the money. They say it's a stupid product. And I say, as long as...
Helpful is fatalism to some degree. If you just accept the probabilities, then that diminishes fear. And I just accepted that actually probably I would just lose everything, but that maybe we'd make some progress if we baton and keep moving it forward, so that we'll still do some good. Same with Tesla. I thought the odds of a car company succeeding were extremely low.
In the future, you will not make money by the service you offer, how good service you do. It's going to be how efficient you are. And Alibaba, we control our headcounts by efficiency we have. We only have 24,000 people. I tell you a story.
To do that, before you have those obligations, so I would encourage you to take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it.
If all the heroes die, who want to be the hero? So my movie, I want to make the hero live. Right. So this is I think we should learn a lot. And it's only about 2 years, so we have another 8 years to go. I want to make our company that it's not e-commerce. It's something that giving people inspiration out of the catching whales. People make money by catching shrimps. So we serve small business.
Fair enough.
What would you say are the top 3 ways, the best ways to multiply money then?
Get rid of it. You got to get rid of it. At some point, you got to quit being a saver. You got to start being an investor.
Debt is money. Please understand me. In 1971, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, money became debt. So the rich know how to use debt to get rich. And that's what I do. And other guys will tell you, get out of debt. You choose.
Try to do what everybody else is doing. So if you do what everybody else is doing, it's going to be a lot more challenging.
We want our shareholders to walk in the shoes. Our directors to walk in the shoes of shareholders. We want them to care a lot about the business, and we want to be smart enough so that they know enough about business that they know what they should get involved in and what they shouldn't get involved in.
Fastest way to get to where you want to be, find someone that's already there and ask them for help. You would be amazed how many older, successful people want to help.
If you're not always learning, to this minute, if I'm not continuously learning, if I'm not just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to kick me.
It's better to start earlier on in life. The earlier you figure it out, the better off you are. But it can happen later in life.
You're not going to get $823,000 a year at a job. There's no job that's going to hire you and pay you $823,000 without you having to go back to college and spend time and invest money.
And what's happening for most people today is, they follow that age-old mantra. Go to school. What do you learn about money in school? Nothing. Get a job. Well, jobs are disappearing. Not only that, is that with artificial intelligence and G5 coming, more jobs are going to get wiped out. Plus, with driverless cars, more jobs are getting wiped out. So why would you go to school to get a job? And then work hard for money, but pay taxes?
What are you doing on your phone all day? There's probably something within there that's $1 billion opportunity. The crazy part about business, you only need one hit. That's it. Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, all these people really just did one thing. But I've worked directly for Zuckerberg, Dustin Moskovitz, Matt Kohler. These are all billionaires. Sean Parker, been around Peter Thiel a little bit. I think the two biggest kind of surprises, 2 or 3 of them, one, they didn't set out to become a billionaire. They just really cared about a problem. Now, the second part of that, most of them didn't get to become a billionaire or super rich for 20 years. And recognizing that and being like, okay, cool. If I can be patient and focus on longevity, I can become a millionaire, multimillionaire, maybe billionaire or beyond. Things that's common, especially for employees, is thinking that they can't escape being an employee. You know, it does take time, patience, and belief, dream, fantasy. And through that you can create the reality. I've done a lot of things, man. I've been swinging for a long time, and that's something that's available to everyone. And I do think that's missed out on, that there's a lot of ordinary people being rich and being successful, and people think it's an exclusive club, and that's just not true. I tried 24 different businesses to finally get to AppSumo, to finally eventually get rich. Think about in your own life and your own businesses, like what is the thing you're looking forward to and excited about? And it could even be small. Like one of my phrases I like is put it on the calendar. What's on the calendar? What are you looking forward to? Well, what you're excited about. And then the reality is that you can actually get going towards that dream sooner than you realize. Everyone should be an entrepreneur, everyone, because if you get fired today, what's your backup plan? Go on Indeed.com and pray. Like having an entrepreneurship where you can have your own business, and if you start it right now, not how, you just get started. And that, a lot of what we cover that is exactly $1 million weekend. You could do it in a weekend, which everyone has. They can change their life in 48 hours. You have the option. And a lot of people, let's take AppSumo.com. We have a lot of people who have very successful side businesses, and they're happy with their day jobs, and that's great. But I think people don't swing enough. They don't even get started swinging, and that's, they're not ready on the sidelines. And there's never a good time. The best time is right now. It's not yesterday because that passed. It's not tomorrow because you don't know. It's right now. There's 3,100 billionaires on the planet, which is not that many. So if you want to meet one and learn from one, that's a really great cheat code of life. And they're accessible. And so taking a step back around interviewing billionaires on our YouTube channel, and then myself running almost $100 million a year business at AppSumo.com, it's the power of asking is the most powerful thing that no one is really improving on or really getting started on. And that's available. There's no exclusivity on it. The upside of asking is unlimited, and the downside is a moment of discomfort. The second thing with this YouTube channel from interviewing billionaires and millionaires is that there's so many different ways of getting rich. I thought that everyone else you can only get rich on the computer and on these worldwide webs. I didn't know how to do it, but I thought that was the only way. And so through the YouTube channel, it's been so powerful and so special. There's Larry Janeski. He's making $600 million a year on basements. You have this lady, Jan, which I guess it's kind of funny. Her name is Jan. She does jam. She got rich selling strawberries. There's Michael Hudner, who did ships. There's Rafa and James, who did energy trading. Right? There's such a phenomenal variety of people that are getting rich outside of just computers. And I think that's so exciting to think about, hey, what is the area that I really like? Is it cooking? Is it doing landscaping? Is it computers? And the ability in that to create a lifestyle and a lot of money around areas that we're interested in. You hear all these, like, I'd say fake entrepreneurs or fake coaches. They don't actually have any real businesses. They're like, you got a 10x today, and you got a 5x. If you're not 5x, then you're failing. And I was like, I've done that, but it's also interesting. What if our goals now for AppSumo.com is to grow 10% next year, and it's been that for quite a lot of time. And the reality is when you set less ambitious goals for yourself, you can stick with them for longer because you're not burnt out, you're not tired, you can sustain. And then by having less ambitious goals, you also have creative freedom because you're not stressed about hitting a target. And that gives you the ability to create 10x opportunities because you're like, okay, cool, I'm not worried about making money in that, but I can go do things that potentially, be moonshots and really drive the company for the future. There's a lot more smarter people out there than they give themselves credit for. The only difference is that I start. That's the biggest difference. But I would say the success of a founder and success if you want to be an employee CEO within a company is how are you being resourceful? How are you solving the goal and the problems and the priorities with the resources that are available? Most people sit and they complain like, oh, I don't have this. Like there's a lot of people, I'm not getting paid enough. Well, what are you doing about it? Did you put together a proposal? Did you go look at comparison analysis? Did you go create more revenue so it's obvious that people should get paid you more? When you're going somewhere in a car, you're like, of course I want a destination. Then why don't we replicate that in business? If you look at all the best CEOs today, the ones that I admire, almost all of them are immigrants. My father's an immigrant, didn't speak English, came to this country. Satya at Microsoft, Name these companies. I mean, just most of them. The guy running Google, Sundar, a lot of the ones. I mean, even Elon Musk, who is debatably a great CEO, South Africa. And so what is it with them that we can all learn from it? And at AppSumo.com, we have Eamon from Iran, my father's from Israel, Alona's from Uzbekistan, Sean is from London, Vanessa's from Colombia. Like, what is it about immigrants that we can all copy? Because that is what built America was. Well, y'all came here from somewhere else. And so the two things that have really struck with me, and I saw this woman who exemplified it. Her name was Sharon. And she kicked so much, and she was working basically at the Best Western, serving breakfast. And if you've never been to Best Western, it should be called the OK Western. Right? It sucks. It sucks. But she was working like she was at, the Four Seasons. I could not believe it. She's like bringing me pancakes. She's doing all these things. And she was acting like a founder and an immigrant. I would say she is an immigrant. And I asked her, I said, tell me more. What's really going on? She's like, there's two things. It's my attitude and it's my effort. Because that's in control, that you're totally in control of your attitude. And that's what I look for when I work with people and we hire people at AppSumo.com. And her effort. There's literally no restriction on effort. There's no law. The only law is 24 hours. Besides that, you can work as hard as you want. A lot of my success is just because I'm in the market and the market does well. But I'm curious about these things, number one. So I was curious about social networking and I was like, man, money, I think worldwide it's pretty important. I think there's going to be something if you have a free money tool, that's going to be big. Same thing then with Facebook games, that was going to be big. Then I did payments for games, that was big. And then I did kind of a Groupon business, which became AppSumo, that was big. Then we built SumoMe.com, that was big, which is a software tool. So ideally, number one, you're curious. But number two, how do you get a part of it today, right now, not how? Don't worry that you don't have a website, don't worry you don't have a big social media presence. But what can you take action on to put yourself in that space? So can you be in a community online? Can you geographically move? Can you start creating in that space? So I think people are curious maybe and they can find it, but they don't necessarily try it and understand it and they don't do anything about it. And I think the biggest thing for everyone out there is, what are you doing on your phone all day? There's probably something within there that's $1 billion opportunity. Same thing on what you're doing outside, same thing what you're watching on content, and just being a little bit more curious and then taking action around that. I think money is very sensitive, and I think we're taught a lot about how to create it, but definitely there's much more there as well, how to enjoy it and different things that people enjoy. A lot of the interesting thing about success is that it's always externalized, right? It's like, that person is an icon, that thing is successful, they're doing well, and I really think it's like, when do we finally feel like we're doing what we think our potential is? And that is our own icon, our own legendary status. And I would say around 40 is when I finally felt more internal validation and I stopped focusing on so much of the external validation. Like, how much money do I have? Do I have more than that guy or girl? Did I do the things externally wanting versus like, am I doing really what I want? And am I proud of the hard work that I'm doing for myself? And around 40, I would say I'm really proud of what I've been able to do.
The world does not belong to the pessimists, believe me. You're selling happiness, and it's, and having it at arm's length away is a big part of it. And the distribution system development, it's the right formula, Muhtar, and it just has to be carried out with extreme diligence, enthusiasm, in every minute of the day.
There's an emotional undercurrent in Buffett's journey that we often overlook. One of the most profound lessons from Warren Buffett's life is that he doesn't just acquire businesses. He acquires the stories and experiences that come with them.
I would like to just tell you a couple of short stories, and we'll draw maybe a couple of lessons from them. Two women each sold a business to Berkshire Hathaway, to me actually, for many, many, many millions of dollars. Both of them started with $2,500. And one of them was a woman who landed in Seattle in 1917, couldn't speak a word of English. She felt like a dummy. She couldn't pick up the language. She couldn't learn a word. They came to Omaha in 1919. And then as her oldest daughter went to school, she would come home, this daughter, Frances, and she would teach her mother the words she'd learned in school that day. And this woman, Rose Blumpkin, spent 20 years saving money, bringing first her siblings over, her mother and father, $50 at a time. She sold used clothing to do it. She had 4 children during this period. And by 1937, after 20 years,
she'd save $2,500. She went to Chicago and she bought what she could of furniture. Her dream had always been to open a furniture store. But with the same spirit that the people in this room had about having a dream and working to accomplish that dream, she built a business which she sold to me in 1983 for $60 million approximately, and which did $1.5 billion worth of business last year. The fourth generation is working in that business. This woman, Rose Blumpkin, she worked for me until she was 103. Then she retired and she died the next year, which is a lesson to all of Berkshire's managers that premature retirement, you can't tell what's going to happen. But Mrs. B, with her $2,500, one further fact about her, she could not read or write. And she didn't bring anything unique in furniture, but she brought a determination to succeed. And I saw one other woman who did a similar thing with $2,500. I paid her hundreds of millions of dollars for her business. Today, I'd like to tell you about one other small business person. This person, I went to buy his business from him, and he turned me down, which was very wise. But this was a fellow who was born about 8 years before I was. He was born in 1922. He was a pretty good athlete, didn't like school much. And I'm going to tell you one thing early in the story. Maybe you can figure out who the guy was. The company he built hires more college graduates each year than any other company in the United States. And this fellow, who was destined for this but did not know it, Jack, went to college for a year and then dropped out. He really wasn't that interested in school. And the year he dropped out was 1941. And when the United States became under attack, he went down to the Army Air Force recruiting station, volunteered, and then he came back to the Midwest. So now we've got a young guy. Probably by this time he would be 23 or 24 years old. And he actually kind of went from one job to another for a short period of, or not such a short period of time. And he finally became a used car salesman at a Cadillac dealership in St. Louis, Missouri. And at age 35, having moved up in the organization, the sales organization, he said to his boss, could I go in the car leasing business with you? The boss said, well, if you'll cut your salary in half and you'll come up with, I think it was $25,000, which he borrowed, we can become partners in a car leasing company. So my friend Jack started at age 35 in the car leasing business. And he had 7 cars. It was pretty slow. In fact, one of the things he did was whenever the phone rang, he let it ring 3 or 4 times so people would think that he was very busy answering other phones. And of course, it was the only call he was going to get all day. So his first venture was okay, but it wasn't really going to go anyplace. And there's a lesson in this for all of us. At age 40, he decided with 17 vehicles, 17 cars, he was going to go into competition in the rent-a-car. And he's got 17 cars, and his cars aren't any different than theirs. I mean, he's buying them from General Motors or Ford or Chrysler. And he can't get the airport locations. Those companies have them all sold up. But he was determined that he would basically offer the customer, can't offer him a different car, but he can offer him friendlier service than they've ever seen. And so he started a company. He named it after the battleship that he'd flown from in the Pacific, which was the USS Enterprise. And
He died about a year and a half ago. But when he died, his rent-a-car company, starting with those 17 cars, was worth more than Hertz and Avis and all the rest of the rental cars put together. The man's name was Jack Taylor, and his son, Andy Taylor, is a good friend of mine, runs the business now. A grandchild is in the business. There'll probably be a fourth generation along the line. So this man in the United States, he didn't invent artificial intelligence. He didn't do anything that, just like Mrs. B selling furniture, I mean, that any one of us could have entered those businesses. But he lived by the creed, basically, of delighting his customers and working with people and establishing the relationship with them so that they in turn would want to delight the customers. He couldn't go out there and take care of every rental car possibility, but he learned how to project himself and his attitude toward his fellow man and his desire, to make a friend out of every customer. He managed to take very ordinary cars and turn them into this extraordinary business from virtually nothing. But at the age of 40, with all of that experience behind him, he found the golden key, and he took a very ordinary business and turned it into an absolutely extraordinary operation. And just like Mrs. B, or Rose Bumpkin did with furniture.
Buffett's journey isn't just about balance sheets and profit margins. It's about connecting with the human side of business. It's a lesson in understanding the emotional investment that every business owner has in their creation. In a world driven by cold calculations and cutthroat competition, Buffett's approach offers a ray of hope for every entrepreneur. It's a reminder that behind every business, there's a heart and soul that yearns to leave a mark on the world. Buffett doesn't merely acquire businesses, he becomes a part of their story. It's not just about numbers, it's about the people, the employees, the customers, and the communities that these businesses serve.
The test isn't whether you get the greatest business idea in the world the first time out. The test is whether you keep learning as you go along what your strengths are and what you can do for your customers, what you can bring especially to the party. And to do that, you need the education that I know you've received through 10,000 small businesses, but you need a genuine desire day in, day out to delight the customer.
For entrepreneurs and business owners, this is a powerful lesson. It's a testament to the value of building meaningful relationships in the business world. It's a reminder that success isn't just about what's in your bank account. It's about the impact you have on people's lives. So, as you navigate the world of business, remember this. Your journey isn't just about numbers and profits. It's about the people and the stories that enrich your path. Success isn't just about building wealth. It's about building a legacy and the profound lessons from the hearts of those who've walked the entrepreneurial path. We hope this video inspires you to follow your entrepreneurial dreams. What was your favorite part of the video? Let us know in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe to keep up with our latest videos.
There are almost certainly a lot of things that you're doing that are going to keep you broke.
I've done a lot of things, man. I've been swinging for a long time, and that's something that's available to everyone. And I do think that's missed out on, that there's a lot of ordinary people being rich and being successful, and people think it's an exclusive club, and that's just not true.
There's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one's ready for a thing until they believe that they can acquire it.
Now you're in a solution-oriented mindset, and people that get wealthy, let me tell you right now, all they think about are solutions. How do I solve this problem? Because if you're wealthy, you must remember you're paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems you solve. And if that's true, you better get very good at solving very difficult problems. And if you have something that's holding you back, like I'm not as smart as a lot of people, and that really pisses me off. But the reality is, pissing and moaning about it is not going to make me any smarter. All I can do is go make the most of what I have.
Entrepreneurs have one thing in common. They keep going. They'll change the rules. They'll reinvent the rules. They don't just take one answer. So a real entrepreneur, it really makes no difference which country you're in. You know what I mean? It's just a mindset. It's, F you mess with me, I'll find a way around it.
They make no excuses. They take total responsibility for their lives. In fact, many people that fall into that category will take responsibility for things that clearly don't even have anything to do with themselves. People are spending all of their money. Death habit number 1. You're spending all of your money on liabilities and not assets. So the key is to understand what an asset is, to understand what a liability is, and to buy appropriately. An asset is something that when you buy, it's going to go up in value and not cost you money, or even pays you money. More money, obviously, than it costs you. If you have a liability, it's the exact opposite. So the classic example of a liability is a car payment. The second you drive a car off the lot, it's going down in value, and with very rare exception, it is never going to go back up. So it's going down in value, and you've got to keep making those payments. So you've got money going out while value is declining. Another one that people often think of as an asset, but is usually a liability, is your own home. Now, the reason that your own home is so frequently a liability is odds are you have a mortgage. Odds are it's the most expensive thing in your life. And it's not like you can just get out from under that liability, especially if the bottom falls out. You're going to have property tax depending on where you live, and you're going to have upkeep no matter where you live. So now you're pouring money into this thing, and maybe the value is going up, but maybe not always. And between the property taxes and the upkeep, you may be paying more than the value is going up over time, especially if you account for opportunity cost. So the odds of your house after taxes, fees, upkeep, all of that being a better use of capital, if you're living in it, being a better use of capital than taking that same money and putting it into an index fund or something like that, a diversified portfolio, let's say, the odds of the house returning more on that are very low. Unless, obviously, if you get into rental properties and things like that and you're not living in it, so now it can actually generate cash flow, well, then it's just a math equation.
A lot of people are chasing content creation, or they were chasing crypto last week, or they were chasing blogging years ago, and now AI everyone's chasing. And so what I'd recommend for other people out there, and I've been able to do this literally, I've chosen so many $1 trillion markets to be around, and a lot of my success is just because I'm in the market, and the market does well. But I'm curious about these things, number one. So I was curious about social networking, and I was like, oh, that's big. Because I got onto it, and I was able to see, like, wow, you can connect with the entire world, even though there wasn't really the entire world at that point. So curious, same with mint.com. I was like, man, money, I think worldwide it's pretty important. I think there's going to be something, if you have a free money tool, that's going to be big. Same thing then with Facebook games, that was going to be big. Then I did payments for games, that was big. And then I did kind of a Groupon business, which became AppSumo, that was big. Then we built SumoMe.com, that was big, which is software tools. So ideally, number one, you're curious. So I can even talk about my crypto thing, because I think that's kind of an interesting example of it. Number two, how do you get a part of it today, right now, not how? Don't worry that you don't have a website. Don't worry you don't have a big social media presence. But what can you take action on to put yourself in that space? So can you be in a community online? Can you geographically move? Can you start creating in that space? So I think people are curious maybe, and they can find it, but they don't necessarily try it and understand it, and they don't do anything about it. So even with crypto, got involved. I heard about it in 2012, didn't do anything. I thought it was stupid. And then in 2016, I had to buy an illegal NFL stream. That's how I got into crypto. And so I bought this illegal NFL stream on a website, seasonsforyou.com, and I saw the power of what this could be. And then I started buying at that point. And that's where it's now become a multi-million-dollar portfolio. And I think the biggest thing for everyone out there is, what are you doing on your phone all day? There's probably something within there that's $1 billion opportunity. Same thing on what you're doing outside. Same thing what you're watching on content. And just being a little bit more curious and then taking action around that. I would say that everyone should be an entrepreneur, everyone, because if you get fired today, what's your backup plan? Go on Indeed.com and pray? Like having an entrepreneurship where you can have your own business, and if you start it right now, not how, you just get started. And that a lot of what we cover that is exactly $1 million weekend. You could do it in a weekend, which everyone has. They can change their life in 48 hours. You have the option. I know a lot of people, let's take AppSumo.com. We have a lot of people who have very successful side businesses and they're happy with their day jobs. And that's great. And there's other people like myself that were always frustrated having a day job. And so I wanted to create work that I didn't have to work at. And I do believe there's a misconception, and something that most people get wrong, is that you can't do what you enjoy or passion or dream about and make a lot of money doing it. I don't believe that.
But when I make $1 million, I keep $1 million. And the reason is because I don't make it by working for money. See, if you work for money, you're taxed. So that's why lesson number 1 in Rich Dad Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What we do instead is we create businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate. I don't invest in the stock market. Okay? So the reason is because as entrepreneurs, I have more control over my income, how much I make, and how much I pay in taxes. And because I'm an entrepreneur as well as an investor in real estate, I pay 0 tax. So every time I make, let's say, $1 million as an entrepreneur, I immediately invest in real estate and I have a 4-to-1 step up. So I put $1 million in real estate, I get $4 million from the bank. That's why I love banks. But the banks are screwing everybody else. Terrible. But it's good for me.
We are all the same. Everywhere in the world. I don't care if you go into China, go into Kosovo, go into Buenos Aires, go into New York. We are all the same. We look different. We sound different. But when you get past the culture, and culture's nothing but group habit, that's exactly what it is. When you get past the culture, we are all the same. There is one mind. There's not millions of minds. There is one. And we are an individualized expression of it. And when we tap into that universal mind, it operates by law. The idea must move into form. That's one of the first laws of the universe, the perpetual transmutation of energy. You understand that winter never follows winter. When the tide goes out, it always comes back in. I got a beautiful Japanese maple just outside my studio at home. Every fall, the leaves fall off that, but every spring they come back. All the great paintings, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, all of them, they were inspired to do the great work. We have to understand that whatever Rembrandt or Van Gogh used, we have available to us. We're God's highest form of creation. Spirit flows to and through us. It's our responsibility to decide what we're going to do with it. I think we've got an obligation to do great work. We're only here for a short time, not a long time. And we've got the faculties and the ability to do great work. I think we should.
Entrepreneur, right? It's one of the most overused nonsense terms out there.
You can become anything.
Lots of different opportunities, but you got to try to find these new fields, these new things which are emerging. Now, here's the good news, right? According to futurist Peter Diamandis, between 2022 and 2026, the world will see as much change as between the year 1900 to 2000. In 4 years, starting next month, we're going to see as much change as between the years 1900 to 2000. New technologies, new opportunities, new things are going to emerge. The whole field of Web3 emerging right now. Truly bad news. There's going to be massive disruption across companies all around the world. But if you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, it's good news, because there's going to be so much change and so much opportunity for you to disrupt the established players.
So the mastery is about your high level of skill, right? And to do that, you have to go through an apprenticeship. You have to learn things over and over and over again to truly believe that fulfilling your career ambitions is going to lead to a high sense of fulfillment in your life.
So money doesn't bring you happiness.
It's never made me happy. I don't measure happy.
What do you measure?
I measure accomplishments. I measure targets. I measure, who I'm helping, things that I can actually physically measure. To me, there's no way to create real wealth by just going inside. You got to go, I got to add people. How do you get people to know who you are? I say almost yes to almost everything.
Why do you say yes to everything?
Because it connects me to another person. I need people to get to know who I am.
I'm going to become somebody.
I want to contribute more. I don't think about, I want to be more happy. I'm not thinking about joy. I'm not thinking about contentment. I'm thinking about action. I want the action. I want the grind. I want the possibility. I want legacy. I'm trying to figure out how to extend 100 years. How could Grant Cardone still be relevant in 20 more? It's the things you didn't budget for, the big dream. But everything else, you got covered. Everything people pay attention to. House note, car note, electric bill, water bill, basics. Everything gets covered. What if you just added a whole bunch of other stuff to the list? What if we were all brought up to say, hey, we're going to cover all this stuff? People would be even more productive.
What would you say are the top 3 ways, the best ways to multiply money then?
Get rid of it. You got to get rid of it. First, you got to make it. I mean, I got to collect it. I got to collect some. Then I got to figure out, okay, this pays for this basic living. Everything above that, don't spend any more money. Like the rest of it, if this is $4,000 and I make 7, the entire 3 has got to go into investments.
Every month.
Every single month. At some point, you got to quit being a saver. You got to start being an investor. This is what we should have been taught in school, man. This is what we should have been taught as kids. Like, how do I do money? You do it with time. Okay, you don't do it with a job. You're not going to get $823,000 a year at a job. There's no job that's going to hire you and pay you $823 without you having to go back to college and spend time and invest money. It just doesn't work like that.
What do you think people in the middle class are doing that they should shift in their mindset in order to start getting out of that?
Well, you don't borrow money to go to college. Why would you trade 5 or 6 or 7 years of the income? Time is money. So I wouldn't go to college. I would never buy a home. I would never put debt on a home. If I bought a home, I wouldn't put debt on it. And these are nevers for me on the come up.
On the come up, yeah.
On the come up.
Once you have the cash.
Dude, once if you're wealthy and you want to go buy homes and, buy yachts and stuff, go do whatever you want to do. But on the come up, you would never spend your income. You would never spend primary income on improving the quality of your life. You would only invest. And that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. Like Sabrina's, I let her pay all the bills. I've been doing this since she was probably 6. You pay the bill. We don't give them an allowance. I don't think any kid should be given an allowance.
Interesting. Why not?
If they want money, they become an employee of the company. They work for the company. We give them a series of things to do. We pay them once a year. Okay, we give them a big check at the beginning of the year. That money goes into Cardone Capital.
Wow.
And they live off the distributions. Come on. Sometimes they'll get a bonus for doing extra stuff.
But they don't get the money.
They never get the money.
It's invested and they get
that money is invested, they get the distributions. They will create wealth over the next 10 years. But it'll be their own wealth. It's not something I gave them.
What, if you could only teach your kids 3 lessons about money, what would those lessons be?
People. Number 1, meet people. No one's a stranger. Money's a people game. 2, once you get it, don't lose it. And number 3, invest in things where you can never lose your capital. Now, the person watching this, she's a waitress and she's got 2 kids at home. She's like, I'm never going to make $800. It's because you already gave up on the idea. It's like you never said that's the target. And you keep thinking you got to wait tables. And you quit already.
How many people are in debt in America?
40% of people that make $1 million a year still are living paycheck to paycheck.
40%?
40%. But that's not because of inflation. That's because they spent money they shouldn't have spent. They thought they were entitled to because they're millionaires.
They live above their means.
They live above their investments, not their means.
How can we shift the relationship to money that we have so we can have a better experience emotionally and spiritually about money?
Anything you're hiding, you're going to have problems with. The secret keeps you sick. First thing I look at every day is my money. I have a great relationship with my money.
I'm not just going to think about it. I'm going to be somebody today. I'm going to grow into who I should be.
What I've done already is impossible.
From where you came from and all these
From
things.
where I came from, I should be dead. I should have been dead at 25 years old. Or in jail. Messed up forever. You know, instead I became this guy. And I mean, I'm grateful. And I don't know that I had any breaks. When people say, oh, you had luck, I'm like, you grinded. Right. I've been grinding. And I'm proud of the grind. But I wanted to turn into something more than money. I'm going to feel good about a lot of places I go to and a lot of people I meet. Because I made more contributions than I didn't. I gave more than I took.
Whatever industry you pick, if you outwork everybody, if you try to be a little smarter than everybody, if you try to be a better salesperson than everybody, if you try to be better prepared than everybody, you've got your best chance. Because if you don't do it and somebody else does, you know, I have the saying, work like someone's trying to take it all away from you. You know, I actually work like someone's spending 24 hours, working 24 hours to take it all away from you. And that's kind of the way I look at it.
What would you say is the number one reason why people fail?
Lack of brains, lack of effort.
Lack of brains, lack of effort.
Yeah, they don't do the work. They don't learn, you know. When you walk in the room, when you start a business and you start to talk about somebody, you're never in a vacuum with no competition, you know, unless you're just extremely lucky. And if there's going to be competition, that means somebody else knows your business as well as you do when you get started. And if you walk into a competitive environment and they still know more about the business than you do and more about your customers, you're going to lose. But most people don't consider that. They don't do the work. They don't learn more about their industry. They don't know even about their business. I mean, and so you've got to put in the effort to know more about your industry than anybody else. And that's the brains part, and that's the effort part as well. Because look, if you're competing with me, you better know what you're doing. Otherwise, I'm going to kick your ass, you know, and you're not going to outwork me. And so, you know, the combination is usually what kills businesses early on more than anything.
You could, within a 5-10 minute interview, say, this dude's not going to make it as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, I can typically tell, right? I can tell by their passion. I can tell by their focus. I can tell by their preparation. You know, there's a whole realm of things in any business. Here, you know, here's the business you're in, and here's 1,000 things that influence whether or not you're going to be successful. You know, through my experience in businesses, I can put myself in his position and say, okay, here are 900 of the 1,000 things he has to be aware of, and then go through and ask. And by how many of those or her issues they've been able to address already, that kind of gives me a sense of how hard they're willing to work. You know, and I can tell by the questions they ask me. So all I have to do is say, okay, what do you want to know? And, you know, when they start saying, what should I do?
They ask you.
Yeah, you know, and that's fine, right? And I want them to ask questions, but, you know, people like to say, you know, the only stupid questions are the ones you don't ask, and that's not right, right? Because the questions you ask tell whoever more about you than anything else you do. Because in particular, it tells me about your preparation. If you ask me questions about just basic things that you should have known and you should have down to a science, that's going to disqualify you almost more than anything. If you're not always learning, if I'm not continuously learning, if I'm not just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to kick my ass, right? So you talk about paranoia. The greatest source of your paranoia should be knowledge. If someone else knows more than you do, and if you're not learning, if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have a thirst for learning and acquiring information, you're SOL.
Do you think there needs to be a healthy level of paranoia?
Oh, absolutely.
There needs to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always say, you know, for every one of my businesses, I said, what would I do to kick my own ass? You're right. So whatever business you have, there's somebody trying to put you out of business. There's somebody trying to take a bite out of your business. And it's better for you to figure out how they're going to do it rather than they do it. And so, yeah, that's being paranoid. And so you have to be paranoid. You have to anticipate other people's next moves. And you can't ever, you know, downplay the competition. I was at a business plan competition this morning at a college, and they were kind of being dismissive of the competition. And so you can't ever do that. You know, they're out there trying to take you down, and they're not just going to sit still. And if you're good, really, really good, you're going to inspire them to work even harder, faster, better. And so you have to be, you know, very self-aware of what you're good at and what other people are good at. And, you know, a healthy dose of paranoia makes a big difference, is very helpful.
Let's transition to a different subject with college. You went to IU, right? Now, you got a lot of people that say, forget about school, you know, drop out of school.
They're idiots.
So you think they're idiots. Tell me why.
If you're going to have and run a business, if you don't understand accounting, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Can't you hire a guy that knows how to run
But then they still have to communicate to you. Your accountant might tell you you're profitable, but your cash is going down. You know, not understanding a breakdown. And when you don't,
do you think you need college to learn that?
Yeah, I think you do, right? Because it may not, for some people, look, if you're so self-motivated that you can take an online course in accounting and teach yourself everything, you're way ahead of the game anyways. But most people aren't. I don't care if you go to a community college and take accounting and spend $99 for the class. Just, you know, spending the money forces you to be more obligated to do it. But accounting, finance, lesser extent marketing, sales if the school offers that. These are all that's the language of business. And so while it's possible to teach yourself these things and while it's possible to hire them, when you're starting your own company, you don't want to have to spend money hiring an accountant. Well, let me take that. If you've gone through all these classes, you probably don't have to hire a lawyer to incorporate, right? You can probably figure out yourself. And so your cost of opening up a business drops, but even more important than all that, that's the blocking and tackling. That's the language of business. You know, the thing I learned at Indiana that was more important than anything else, I learned how to learn. And learning became far more important to me because the one certainty in business is that it's always going to be changing.
How does one entrepreneur increase the speed in areas that they can increase? There's certain things you can't control.
Speed in what way?
Speed of growing your business.
All right.
So how fast can I grow?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. You've got to know your own skill set, right? And you've got to know how that fits within your company's life cycle. You know, some companies are slow grind. And you just have to understand that. And you've just got to bide your time until it starts to click and then grow with it quickly. You know, if you're trying to release a product that needs to be ubiquitous, you've got to go as fast as you can and then, you know,
release a product, like a launch.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of people who will say, you know, perfection is the enemy of profitability, right? And that doesn't mean you have to wait till it's a perfect product. It really just depends on what the product is. It, you know, a barbershop, right? Is it an app? Is it a service? Is it a product? But, you know, the key is looking for the low-hanging fruit. What customers are willing to write you a check or commit to it, you know, so that they're willing to integrate it into their daily lives or integrate it into their daily business. And so getting a commitment either through time or revenue is typically what I look for. And so if I can get a commitment, then I'm going to be able to learn. I'm going to see how they use it. Do they sustain usage? And then once I get the next one, you know, hopefully it came a little bit faster than the first one. Then I can ask for referrals and then the next one, then the next one. And I just try to ramp it up. You know, when I bought the Mavs, we had no season ticket holder base. And so literally it was a matter of just putting a list of former season ticket holders and a white pages back then, you know, on my desk next to my phone and making phone calls.
You?
Yeah, me. Yeah, because if I'm not going to do it, how can I expect someone else to do it, right? So just get on the phone. Hey, this is Mark Cuban. I'm the new owner of the Dallas Mavericks. You know, I'd like to invite you back for again. It's not though. This is my business.
You can't get regular sales guys or something to make those calls once they get to a quarter. You're a guy that's a billionaire. You're making those calls.
But that's all, you know, and that's fine and good, right? Because everybody's got their own goals, right? But still, I don't want anybody at the Mavs to be able to say, well, he's not willing to do the work, right? There's, you know, if I walk around, I'm picking up all the papers. I'm not saying go get that picked up. I'm like, okay, that's trash. I'm picking it up. But in terms of speed of growth, it's really, you got to get that first customer first. And then when you get that first, what did you learn? Reiterate, get that next customer. And then hopefully as you learn more and more through the process, then the next one comes by even faster. You know, alluding to it earlier about entrepreneurs being born or built, you know, and I think I knew I was wired to be excited about business. How or why, I don't know, but you know, and there's certain guys that have the genetics to jump out of the gym, right? There's certain guys, you know, that, you know, when they golf, they have the muscle memory and the discipline. You know, Dirk Nowitzki may not be the most talented guy in the NBA, but his discipline and his focus to do what's necessary to be successful, he's willing to do, and combine it with being 7 feet tall and being skilled, it makes him an amazing basketball player. So it's understanding what your skill set is, finding the right place to use those skills, and then going for it. Will that make you $250,000? It depends if you pick the right industry. I started my first business when I was 12. I was buying and selling baseball cards, buying and selling stamps, anything I could do to make money. I was hustling and trying to do. So I was into business, but I not so much where it was all my friends were into it with me, so they wouldn't know.
Baseball cards.
Yeah, baseball cards, you name it. I grew up in Pittsburgh. And so I would, probably even less than 12 years old, I would go out, buy a bunch of baseball cards that I collected, and I would say, okay, you're guaranteed to have a Pittsburgh Pirate in this package. And I would charge 3 times as much. And I'd set up on this park bench down in the park down in Scott Township where I grew up. And I'd have these little sales. And it was great. I made money, and it was, and I learned as much about business when I was 9, 10, and 12 as I learned any other time.
You hear all these, I'd say fake entrepreneurs or fake coaches. They don't actually have any real businesses. They're like, you got a 10X today and you got a 5X. If you're not 5X, then you're failing. And the reality is when you set less ambitious goals for yourself, you can stick with them for longer because you're not burnt out. You're not tired. You can sustain. And that gives you the ability to create 10X opportunities because you're like, okay, cool. I'm not worried about making money in that, but I can go do things that potentially, be moonshots and really drive the company.
Too late. It's better to start earlier on in life. The earlier you figure it out, the better off you are. But it can happen later in life. Now, I figured out at an early age that I wanted to write. I didn't know what I wanted to write, but I loved words and I loved writing. And if I didn't have that connection when I was 8 years old, all the way into high school and college, I would have been a lost soul. And I empathize with a lot of people who don't have that feeling when they're 8 or 18 or in their 20s. But I've tried to tell people everybody has it. You're just not listening to yourself. You've lost touch with who you are, the core of your being. You're on social media too much. You're listening to what other people are telling you. You're listening to what your parents told you should be doing in life.
Life and your own businesses, what is the thing you're looking forward to and excited about? And it can even be small. One of my phrases I like is put it on the calendar. What's on the calendar? What are you looking forward to?
The vision, right? And so
for 20 years, I was just so obsessed with creating money and getting money. And I was not really obsessed at all in enjoying life and enjoying the money. And that's something when COVID happened that 180'd my life. And I'm grateful for it. It was definitely unfortunate for a lot of people. I was just grateful that it brought up, okay, well, if this is not forever, how do we enjoy this life? And so a lot of my learnings and what I do in our channel is to inspire people to be able to do their own things in business journey. And that doesn't mean to be a millionaire. I will say with 100% certainty, being a millionaire is awesome. The ability to go to the grocery store and you're like, just give me the things I want, go to the supermarket and not worry paycheck to paycheck, not worry about it. I actually instill more okay, I should wait more to buy things. Let's delay that gratification instead of just getting everything I want. When I go to these billionaires, one of my favorite questions is, how do you enjoy money, but what do you regret about the money? And almost all of them, they will say they're either saying it or what they're actually saying is they regret not spending more time with their family. And only a very few were able to balance that. And that's something that stuck with me, where it's the reason I left San Francisco. I didn't want to talk about funding and employees and how big your company is. I don't care. I really, what I'm interested in is how good is your life? How are you with yourself? Not even necessarily you have to be this donor person. I think that's one way of a great life. How are you to your partner? How are you to your parents? How are you to your friends? How are you to the people you work with? And I think money is very sensitive. And I think we're taught a lot about how to create it, but definitely there's much more there as well, how to enjoy it and different things that people enjoy. I enjoy watches and bicycles, and I enjoy having a nice house. I never did any of these things before because I was like, I should just keep saving and saving and saving. And with COVID, I was like, maybe let me enjoy a little bit in the areas I'm spending a lot of time. And those are the areas. And then watches was also just, how can I represent pride in myself? What I've accomplished in different areas. So, me and my partner are pregnant. She's pregnant. I did the easy work. And so I got a Rolex with me and 2 other buddies. I bought 3 Rolexes, Pepsis. to honor that. And that's super cool that I can do that for us and for them, and money enables that. Would I be just as happy without it? Yeah. But I would say having money to be able to have a nicer house, be able to have a house, live in Spain without worrying about the money and these type of things, it makes life so much easier.
We never hear any stories about people that start in the middle and go straight down, okay? And I went straight down and then down and then down. I'd like to believe that I could look in the mirror and tell myself I'm great and then I'd feel it. But if you're destroying yourself the other 23 hours and 56 minutes, the self-talk isn't going to matter. Rich people do not value money the way poor people do. I think a lot of us, if we grew up poor, we believe it takes money to make money. Our parents told us that. Maybe a grandparent or the neighbor or somebody said that to us because that was how they justified not having their breakthrough and getting trapped. They're like, the reason I didn't get out. And we know everybody's got an excuse in their lifetime. Everybody uses them at some point in their lifetime to trap themselves. This idea that it's not true, it's a myth.
What do all these successful people have in common? Whether it was the mattress dealer, the car dealer, the furniture dealer, or Elon Musk, they spend money, man. They spend money. They spend a lot of money. And they don't worry about money the way I was worried about it. They use money, they used it. They didn't save it. They didn't hoard money. Mm-hmm. And the greatest companies on this planet today, the ones that have some of these companies have lost money for 25 years. Look at Amazon.
Yeah.
Reinvest. 1.7 million employees. When I started, I remember I looked at Ernst Young. I said, I have a buddy that worked at Ernst Young. I said, how many employees you got? He's like, 240,000.
Wow.
And I'm worried about 10 people. Mm-hmm. What am I thinking? Mm. So when I quit studying individuals and started studying people, everything shifted for me. What is this big company doing? Mm-hmm. Because that also relieved me of being competitive with this guy, Pete, and started saying, okay, I'm going to go do what Coca-Cola does. That's when I bought the plane.
Right. Really?
Yeah.
How old were you when you bought the plane?
I was 50, maybe 55, the first one. I bought it because I studied what Coca-Cola was doing. They bought planes. I said, why are they buying planes? Oh, then I learned how they write them off. And then I learned how they trade them every 3 years.
That's crazy.
So notice every 3 years, I'm trading a plane. I'm getting rid of it, replacing it with another one. But what are they using it for? They don't use it for pleasure. They're not using it for Instagram photos. Right. They're using it to go and set up headquarters in other countries.
Wow.
So that's when I wrote, if you're not first, you're last, because when I started studying these companies, I'm like, Coca-Cola's everywhere. You can't go any place and not see Coca-Cola. I was like this big. I was always thinking about what can I keep? Mm-hmm. And they were thinking about how many shells can we get on? How many eyeballs can we see? Mm-hmm. So that's when it all clicked for me.
I'm a guy that grew up in the middle class. All I do is do drugs all day long. I don't learn a damn thing. Nothing. One night, there's a deal that goes down in my house. Me and another buddy are partying. They call it partying. It's never a party. It's always bad. I open the door to walk this dude out, and this other guy jumps up on this step, puts a .45 caliber pistol right in my face, literally right here in my face. Jammed the barrel right into my head. You can see the scar right here. Okay? Then he took the back of it and started hammering both sides of my head, underneath the mouth, on top of the head, put 76 stitches in my head and face. And I went to the hospital. My mom was called to the hospital. My mom had no idea who I was. She's like, but where's my son? 28 days later, I was in a treatment center for drug addiction. And I finally put my first couple of days not using drugs together. But more importantly than not doing something, I started something that day. I'm going to become somebody. I want a great life. I want to be the guy that has freedom. I went into work the next day. The people that I worked for were gracious enough to let me keep that job. I took that addiction for drugs and literally threw it into my work. I really started learning from in the beginning. What you learn is you're learning from the master, and so I'm duplicating and emulating. Then at some point you cross over and you become the master. If you're a guy like me, I'm always looking to improve everything. I'm looking for another little tweak, another little twist. You and I did that with the podcast. I'm looking for that next thing all the time, how to make something just a little better, a little faster.
And so at some point, I kept studying this guy until I was able. In the beginning, I didn't challenge anything. I used, I duplicated, I got
let me follow the
results.
script that I learned. Let me use exactly what he's telling me to do. Do it.
Whatever I heard, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna make that work. That's gonna be my stable datum. And once I could trust that, then I could build on top of it. I never butted anything. I got a better way in the beginning. Dude, until I got the results over and over, consistent results, then I started teaching it to other people. Then I started learning angles. And then I basically created my own style and I actually almost threw away what I had learned and created this new thing called information assisted selling.
Information assisted selling.
Where I started leading with what people wanted rather than this guy kind of hid. It was the old school, hide it. Don't avoid the price, bring it up later. And that's where I really started accelerating everything, giving people the information up front, allowing you to understand how much this watch or ring was or car was. Before you even asked about it, I'd tell you it's $58,000.
Right away. So you wouldn't wait till the very end. You'd say,
yeah, so look, if you're shopping for a car or a watch or a ring or a coaching program, whatever it is, you probably want to know how much it is. I know I would. This particular product's $58,000. It would require about, $2,500 down. Your payments would be about $550 a month. Let's be sure you're on the right product. See, I got the value proposition, the money. I got you thinking about money right now. I want you thinking about money so that when I show the product, you can start making sense of it. Because I can't convince you that it's worth it. You have to convince you.
They gave me a little pill and said, you need to take this little pill every day. I said, dude, I came here to get off pills, okay? And before I left, the counselor grabbed me and said, hey, if you don't give up your ideas of getting rich, because in 28 days, you share your whole life.